Cowboys, and I want to give a major shout out to Mike Tag. Keep bringing the hype to the Cowboys Nation. We love and appreciate it. Now, can you dig it? Let's get it.
What's up, Cowboys Nation? What is up? We got your boy Mike Tags here. We're in the cave, and my man Kelly, you just made it. I have a little technical difficulties. I see.
You know, if it ain't one thing, it's another, man. But you know, I wasn't gonna miss it. I was gonna get on here, so maybe some shuffling around and moving and whatnot. But we're gonna get this thing going because we got schedule release tonight.
No, we're gonna have a good time. They've been, we've heard all the rumors, so we don't know what's true. But hey, this is the deal. We're gonna be taking calls. There's a link if you look in the chat. If you're daring enough and you say, hey, you want to join us live stream, all you gotta do is click that link. It's gonna bring you right into us. We're gonna be laid back. We're gonna have a good time. We're trying to figure this thing out and see what the schedule looks like, and see when Kelly Canine and I are gonna be making that appearance at AT&T.
That's right. That's right. You're gonna catch both me and Mike at Jerry World, ready to watch the Cowboys game. Watch the Cowboys put in work on the way to number 6.
And I told you, I think we talked about it on the show, and I made a little graphic for everyone. No, that ain't it. Let's see. We're gonna get this thing right. Look at that strength of schedule. And we talked about the East, and you got Philly at number 1. You got the Giants at 3. You got Dallas, right at 5. You got Washington right in there. We got, if you're looking at the schedule, based off last season, we got our work cut out. But that's what it's all about. It's going to make us stronger. But we got some good games scheduled. I'm just waiting for it to become official. But we do know, it sounds like we're going up to New York to handle that business just like old times. But this time, instead of them coming to us, we'll go there opening night, Sunday Night Football. How you feel about that, if that's 100% true?
Well, I mean, if that's the way that shakes out, then, New York just gets to get beat down in prime time. So I'm fine with that. We all know that Dak is the stepfather of the New York Giants. And, we all know that. So that's nothing new. Beating the Giants is like, it's like America's pastime. It's almost like baseball. It's just something we do. We beat the Giants.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm looking forward to it because all this Daniel Jones BS that we've been hearing, and this and that, all the hype on him. We're gonna shut him up week 1 and go ahead and put them out to pasture for good, and then we'll see him later. And I'm telling you what, I don't know where the game is at. Your boy has never been to a Giants game. I've never seen the Cowboys and Giants play. It's the only team in the division. So I'm already got that one penciled in. If that's accurate, if it's the timing's right, it said maybe November. So if the timing's right, your boy's definitely going to be down at AT&T to see the Giants.
That's right. Well, I was gonna say before we get too far into this, speaking of Cowboys whooping up on the Giants, season openers and all this stuff, I'd be remiss if I didn't. I'm a forgetful person, so I gotta say this. I gotta give a shout out to a young woman that was actually helping me out tonight with the Dallas Cowboys Pro Shop. Lost an order for a hat, and I called into the show, and it turns out she knew both me and Mike Tag. She knew the Can You Dig It, the hype videos. Everybody knows Mike Tag. And then it turns out she knew me as well. So I want to give a shout out to her. She's a huge Cowboys fan. She asked the question about Dak Prescott. Is he the man? Is he going to be the man to get us there? And it seems like the question all around the globe that gets asked all the time. And guess what? We're going to find out this year. We're going to find out week by week, starting with the New York Giants. So just wanted to give a shout out to that young lady. She helped me out and did a very good job taking care of me. So I appreciate her very much.
No,
And she's a
absolutely
new
not.
subscriber to the show.
Well, that's what it's all about, man. And that's the thing. If you guys are new to the show, we appreciate it. But if you're loyal to the show, the best way to support the show and the channel is to spread the word because, Kelly and I bring it. And I'm just looking at him like, man, no disrespect to either one of us, right? But we should be having, there should be 50,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers listening to what we got to say, bring that hype, right?
Well, I mean, if you ain't subscribed, then you're missing out. I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, so if you ain't told your friends, go tell your friends, get them on the channel, share it, get them on here because they need to be a part of this. Like my new friend Davon, that's her name. I almost forgot Davon. I had a lot of things going on today, but Davon, she subscribed to the channel. She knows what's up. She knows Mike's bringing the hype. She knows Kelly's right up in here, going to be doing his thing. So you know what? They get on here, and guys, we do this because we love it. But you know what? The more subscribers, the more likes, the more shares, the better for this channel, the better the content's going to be, the better experience for everybody involved. So get our street cred up and go share
Absolutely.
this. And smash that like button, like Steve said. Smash away.
And it don't cost you nothing. That's the best part about it, man. We're doing
Absolutely
this shit
free.
for free.
It's free.
And I promise you that I'll never charge nothing. And there's a few people that can attest to it, man. I'm all about giving back to the people that have been good to me. And I just love Cowboys Nation, just like Kelly. We got to think, I don't know, the hype, the heat. We got to think of something. We got to think of a catchphrase for us sooner or later because this is going to be a good year. There's going to be hopefully a lot more hype than heat. Hopefully you're not bringing that pain at the end of the games. Hopefully you've got that positive swag with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's hope not. We don't want to see the let me see if I can fix this thing here. I'm trying to fix this thing so we can get me on screen here where I'm looking. Oh shit. Well, I'm having still some technical difficulties. We'll figure that out. But yeah, we got to come up with a catchphrase. Right now, the only thing that I don't want to be saying at the end of a post game is hold your tears and drink your beers because that's never a good thing. That means that we lost. And so I don't want to hold any tears. I want to drink all the beers. So let's hope that that's what we're doing after every game this year.
No, absolutely. Now I'm looking around because I know the schedule is out. So I am I'm looking to say I know it's out here somewhere. Somebody else. So we are playing, Kelly. We are playing the Jets week 2, opening day for AT&T after we come back and beat them Giants. I want to know, is that the game that Kelly is that a game that Kelly K9 and Mike Tag that finally put this Aaron Rodgers curse away and put him out the pasture just like we did to Tom Brady last season?
What better game to go to and bring the hype than one, opening day at AT&T Stadium, but two, Aaron Rodgers goes from Green Bay and runs out of the NFC like the coward he is because he doesn't want to deal with us no more. I can't say that because he's kind of at our number, but you know what? He goes out of there because he knew what was coming this year. He knew the Cowboys were coming this year. He knew that defense was coming this year. Little did he know he was running into a team that was going to have to play the Dallas Cowboys in week 2. So joke's on you, Rodgers. You get to play the Cowboys one last time, and I promise you, this one ain't going to be pretty. It's not going to be the fairy tale ending that you're hoping for because we got a guy named Michael Parsons, number 11, that's lining up right on the other side of that on that defensive line coming after you.
Yeah, and that's honestly, early on, I'm going to say that's the game I'm looking for. That's the game I was kind of hoping. I was pushing for a primetime game. It's probably going to be 4:30, right? It'll probably be a 4:30 game. But that's still good. Or 3:30 in Dallas, I guess. I'm an East Coast guy, so I always say that. So the other interesting thing is this, and my son will be very happy with this, just kind of glancing over the schedule. We've got a Thursday game against Seattle week 13. We got a little extra rest. And then we welcome Philly into AT&T December 10th. Sunday Night Football. Nothing better than that. And like I told you guys, there ain't been a time in this lifetime that I ain't walked out of any Cowboy-Eagle game disappointed. And that shit ain't going to start this season. I promise you that.
That's right. We got the lucky lucky charm there with Mike Tagg in the house when he fuels up that Learjet and makes his way on down to AT&T Stadium. We already know what happens. We already know the result. And now we just need to figure out what the excuses will be for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I just want to say something. I saw Ultra over there, the prediction of 6. Did he say 6-11? Come on, man. I don't. Send me your address. I'll tell you what. Give me your address because I want to send you a drug test. I want you to take that drug test because you got to be smoking something if you think these Cowboys are losing 11 games. Not a chance in hell.
We love Ultra, but he is the pessimistic Cowboys fan. And
he is the ultimate pessimist.
He is. But the thing is it's what I always say, and I love Ultra, and he brings great content, so it's nothing against him. But it's easy to be negative. It's easy because only one team wins a Super Bowl. So if your team don't win, you can be negative all year. So, see, I told you we weren't going to win. Yes. So, I don't really pay no mind to all the negativity. I look at this roster. This team is better than it was last season. I think the coaching is better than it was last season. So we're gonna roll that ball out there. We're gonna see what happens, and it starts in week 1 against the Giants, and then we got some New York love. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna play the Jets, and then we're at Arizona. We got New England at home. Then we go on my birthday. How stupid could the 49ers in this NFL schedule be to dare schedule this game on my birthday? You know that shit ain't happening. Cowboys win that one. And then we go back to LA or back to California, I should say, and we got a rematch with Kellen Moore in the Chargers. So looking at those 6 games, Kelly, maybe if I ran them off too fast, just let me know and I can repeat them. What's striking to you, and also the fans and everyone in the chat? What game of that one are you looking forward to? And like I said, if you guys want, give us a call. If you want, click that little link and join the show and be in the live cast, because this is what it's about. This is what Kelly and I love to do. We want to interact. It's great in the chat, and we love interacting in the chat, but speaking to you and seeing you is always better.
Well, that's right. We want to hear from you guys. We want to know what you're thinking, what you're feeling on the schedule. So man, I'm excited about that Jets game. One, because the Jets got a squad. So it's not just the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. It's Aaron Rodgers with some talent around him. He's been a bit, there you go, Ultra. You're on the wagon now. We're going up undefeated. I like to see that.
No, that wasn't Ultra.
Okay. I thought I caught it and said Ultra. Somebody said he said undefeated. Okay. I thought we had him on the wagon, but
if Ultra's gonna be a realist, if he's saying 6-11, that's not being a realist. But go ahead.
No, but it's not. But you know what? Here's the thing. So Aaron Rodgers is gonna have some talent. This will be one of the talented rosters he's had in a while. Because New York, they've got a pretty good defense. That Sauce Gardner in that secondary. They've got some players on that defense. They've got some players on that offense. The running back that's I think he's coming back from an injury. But I mean they've got some talent. So that'll be an exciting game. And then of course, the San Francisco 49ers. Let's just face it, that's another team that's had our number. So I look to a measuring stick of kind of where we're at. You know what I mean? What are we going to look like against the 49ers and that defense? Because let's face it, they may still be kind of searching at quarterback, but that defense is going to be scary good, just as good as they were last year, if not better. Adding Hargraves to that defensive line.
Oh, yeah.
That could be the number 1 defense in the NFL. They could be right there neck and neck with the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys have a great defense, but man, you want to talk about getting tested early. You're going up against what some consider as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I don't personally consider him that. I think he's great. I don't think he's one of the greatest, but in Aaron Rodgers. And then you go up against that vaunted 49ers defense. So those 2 games early on, they jump out. But also the fact that we get to start out with the New York Giants and we can start out with getting a division win. You know what I mean? Get a division win under our belt, start the season off right. So
yeah. And to your point, I mean, back-to-back road games, West Coast swing. You're talking about, playing the Chargers, on the road, playing the Niners on the road. Those are going to be tough games. There's no doubt about that. And then obviously, they come home against the Rams. That's an intriguing game. That might be one on my list. And then week 9 at Philly. The interesting thing, Kelly, and to everyone is they Philly is both games are in the back half of the season. So there's going to be a lot of shit talking, and there's going to be a lot of stuff going on, and it's going to be a lot of build up to those games for sure.
Well, I mean, when does Philly not talk shit?
No, I mean, well, we got to listen to it for 9 weeks.
Yeah,
and we play Philly first.
And let's face it, Philly would probably talk shit if they beat us, and we don't play them in preseason, but they'd talk shit if they beat us in preseason. The funny thing that I find about Philly is that I went on YouTube the other day and I was looking for some highlights and stuff, and I was looking for some CeeDee Lamb on Darius Slay, and they didn't really have anything on there from when we beat them, but there was tons of highlights, and they were all of when we didn't have Dak behind center.
Yeah.
All the videos that were uploaded that had all the likes and all the views and shit was all with Cooper Rush as the fucking quarterback. And I just found that pretty funny. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what in the fuck? What in the fuck? You don't got no highlights of when Dak cooked your defense and we dropped 40 on you?
I know.
You sons of bitches.
Well, that's going to be interesting. So, Troy's asked a question, what games you guys going to? So, I mean, I don't know if we could pencil it in now. Kelly, what's your thoughts on the Jets? Do we lock that?
Hey, look, I'm down for the Jets.
All right, we're locking that bad boy in, and then we're going to. Well, we got some feedback here. You switch this. Wait a minute, we got Kelly. You there?
I got it. I was working on getting logged in with this computer damn thing, so I'm in. I'm in, baby.
Oh, we're locking in the Jets. Is 100% in. Kelly K9 and I hanging out at AT&T opening day. Nothing sweeter than that. Beating up on Aaron Rodgers.
Kelly, right. There? So if you want to come to the tailgate, if you want to come and hang out with the big dog, Mike and Kelly K9, you know which game you're going to find us at. It's going to be the New York Jets as we come and beat down Aaron Rodgers with the new with the new squad. There you go.
So that's the one. And then just looking at the other games, if I was going to just talk out loud, the Rams is an intriguing one, but then we've got the Giants. So if I had a choice, probably going to the Giants in November. Carolina, that could be an intriguing one. That might flip me to the Rams again because I want to go to Carolina on the 19th, and that should be an easy trip since it's not too far. And then, of course, the Eagles, never going to miss a Sunday night game. And, man, we got a Saturday night game against the Lions near the end of the season.
I just saw that. I was going to say week 17, the Detroit Lions. Now, that's going to be an interesting game. I mean, that's an up-and-coming team right there. It's a team that's put together some wins late in the season last year. They've got a head coach that the team has really embodied his personality. I think that's going to be a good game. And they've got some playmakers. And believe it or not, Jared Goff is actually playing sound football, dare I say. So, when they first made that trade, it looked like it was pretty lopsided and heavy favor of the Rams winning that. But, Jared Goff didn't do too bad last year.
No.
They put him in they gave him some playmakers, and they put him in a situation and that he could succeed, and he did pretty well last year, man. Say what you want about Jared Goff, he did pretty good last year for the Lions, so that'll be an interesting game late in the season too. So you want to see if we're playing our best. So hey, what better way to do it than to play a could-be contender in the NFC late in the season?
Yeah, I got to humor you, Kelly. I got to humor you, and it's great that we get comments. So our man Ultra says the Cowboys are going to be 1-5 their first 6 games. So I'm going to read them to you. At the Giants, the Jets at home, at Arizona, New England at home, at San Francisco, at the Chargers. You see us being 1-5?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I mean, barring injury, let's just say barring catastrophic injury.
Right.
That's the way NFL is. You don't know.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, if Dak was to get injured game 1, and Cooper Rush, as much as I think he's a competent backup, great backup, I'd be feeling pretty bad if he got hurt. Maybe week 1 if he gets hurt, and I could see maybe the wheels falling off. But you know what? Mike McCarthy kept this thing together, and he kept it rolling when Dak went down, and he plugged it in. It was next man up, and he kept it going. They catered the game plan around what he could do and did great. So listen, even if we're having bad quarterback play, I don't see us going 1-5. I mean, this defense
is too good to go 1-5.
I mean, even if you don't like the offense, even if you think that the offense is going, even if you think this offense is going off the rails, right?
Yeah.
You're telling me that this defense isn't going to show up and play every Sunday?
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a chance in hell this defense is going to fall off. If anything, this defense got better. This defense is going to be scary good. That's what gives me the reason for optimism in this defense.
Yeah, it ain't even close. And I just put that up there because my man Bud, it's Bud. Hopefully, if that's your name, Bud, or if that's just your handle. Is his birthday the same as mine? I mean, San Francisco game. Are you an October 8th guy? You Libra? So if you are, I'd love to go to that game. I don't think it's going to happen. I'll just be straight with you. There'll be a lot of things that stand in my way. Family being one, but and then you got to understand, I have season tickets to the Cowboys, so I've got a lot invested in the game. It's hard. The road games are hard unless they're Miami, unless they're Atlanta, unless they're Tampa, Carolina, anything on the East Coast. Because honestly, with my job, I can kind of finagle some things around and make some trips out of it. But talking about Miami, I was so hyped, so excited for this Miami game, and I don't know if a wrench just got thrown in it, but Miami on Christmas Eve. That is kind of that got me really upset, and I know my boy Jones is Fred Jones. He was planning on going. I don't know, Fred, if you're still going. I mean, if my man's still in, if Tuck's still in, I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and sleep on the couch for a little while and be gone for Christmas.
Sometimes you just gotta, that just means that you'll just have to make it up. The day after Christmas will be epic.
Now the good thing is it's a 4:00 game. It's a 4-hour drive home. That would be if they lose, and I had to do that for Jacksonville. We did that. We went to the Jacksonville game and drove home after the game, and it was the longest painful ride home. So I could do it. I don't know if I want to do that. So that Miami game is now as an asterisk next to me because I don't know if I'm going to be able to swing that one on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Well, anytime you get around holidays, man, that's a sacrifice right there. You're got to figure out what way you can go.
Yeah.
Fred says not cool, man.
No. And did you do the Thanksgiving game? Did you ever do a Thanksgiving game?
I've never done a Thanksgiving game. No.
Yeah, I did it. I did it with the Raiders, and it was just my son and I, so maybe it'd be different. But I don't know. It was okay. I don't know. I was expecting more. We lost, so that probably made it worse. But I don't know. The Thanksgiving Day, all the tradition, everything, thought it was going to be just a little bit more, and it wasn't as exciting. So I'm looking at that Thanksgiving Day game, and they're playing Washington. That one just doesn't get me juiced up. So I don't know how you guys in the chat feel about it.
We play Washington on Thanksgiving. Is that what you said? We're playing the Washington.
That's what I thought. Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we talked about, the other night. So Washington and Thanksgiving is a game that I remember from when I was growing up. Of course, back when they were the Redskins, and it was Redskins and Cowboys. So it was always like Cowboys and Indians on Thanksgiving, which kind of always, I don't know. That was something that it was kind of a tradition type thing for me because they seemed like they played the Redskins a lot, or I think it was just an every year at Thanksgiving. It seemed like it was.
Yeah, do you remember the I just remember the Thanksgiving Day game with Emmitt Smith. It was kind of like his breakout game. Might have been 91. We didn't go to the Super Bowl that year, but he just had this huge game, and I still have this starting lineup with the newspaper clipping in the background where he ran for a bunch of yards. But I mean, I agree. Thanksgiving's always it's something with the Redskins or Washington, I should say. We had Joe Washington on, so we said a lot of Redskins, so that's been entrenched in my mind again.
Yes,
But a lot of memories with Washington.
Yeah, for sure. So Mark said Mark says he wanted the Eagles on Thanksgiving. Yeah, what better way to celebrate Thanksgiving than to carve up some filthy bird?
Yeah.
That would have been a good one. I wouldn't have minded that. I'll tell you what, last year the game on Christmas Eve against the Eagles was a great way to bring in Christmas morning. And you made it to that game last year.
I was
right?
there.
Yeah, you were there. You were in the house.
I'll tell the people in the chat the story just real quickly. So, wasn't going to that game, had the game for sale, and my son is a huge Des Bryant fan. If you saw a tweet, he's graduating high school. He still has his '88 necklace Des sold I don't know, years ago. And so they had this. Des was doing these meet and greets, and I'm like, man, I'm going to surprise him for Christmas, and I was going to take him. It's just going to be me and him. And then talking to my wife, she's like, wow, geez, you guys are going to leave us. Why don't we all go? So all this to see Des turned into 4 airline tickets. I only have 2 tickets, so I had to buy 2 extra tickets. So we did all this. I bought 2 helmets because him and I were both going to go. I was like, well, I'll get one side for the cave. You get one side for your room. We'll be happy. And he canceled a week and a half before. No fault. I mean, things happen. Yeah. But ended up not meeting them. Ended up spending all the money to go to the game. It would have been really bad if we lost, but dropping 40 on them and beating them just, it made all that money worth it.
Yeah, it's funny because that's I remember that story, and I remember you telling me, you said, I'm kind of hoping I could get to that game and maybe something will happen because when you had them tickets up for sale, you was like, maybe nobody will buy them, and then I'll have to go. So things worked out in your favor, man. You got your Christmas wish.
Oh, I did. It's just it's awesome. And going to AT&T, it's what I tell people. That's what I love when the schedule to me is better than the draft. And it's because now it's you always know who you're playing because you can figure it out years in advance, pretty much everyone but 2 teams. But now you have the dates, so now you've got everything in play. You know when you're playing this, you start making plans and hanging out with Cowboys Nation. I mean, getting to meet you and becoming friends, and Jay Tuck becoming friends with him, and Nix and all these guys, and hopefully like EJ we had on the show seems like a great guy. But hopefully and Fred, I'm gonna start missing people. Doug, I'm gonna name all these guys and miss people, but making all these these friendships at the stadium, it's been special. Being a Cowboys fan, living in Florida, growing up, I never had that. So that's why I tell people, I may be getting a little older, but I'm making up for lost time. So I got a lot of energy in me to have some fun.
Well, I never would have imagined, I think it was 2015 when I first signed up for Twitter. And I never would have imagined that platform, Twitter, the platform of Twitter would have kind of taken me in the direction that it's taken me, because you're right, man. I've met some super cool people and developed a lot of friendships. My boy Mark here is in the chat. Actually hooked me and my girlfriend up with tickets to the Broncos game. Actually hooked me up with tickets for the Bucks game last year. I mean, I've met a lot of really cool people, been able to go down and tailgate and just hang out with people, going on different podcasts and talking Cowboys football. I mean, it's what a fan like me, a fan like you, this is the shit that we love. This is 100% pure passion. Like, it's in my blood, man. So to be able to do this, like, it's a blast, man. I never thought that I I would be doing this, man. You know what I
No.
mean? And being able to talk to Dave Campo, you know, I said it
That's what I'm
before.
saying, the opportunity for us to talk to, you know, Switzer, Campo, you know, Joe Washington, JT, Tom, all these NFL players, and we got more to come. It's been a dream come true. And like, again, for me, it started with a stupid video that I've done a million times when I was a kid. And my brother, he said, "Hey man, you got a Twitter account, just tweet that and tag DeMarcus Lawrence in it, man." And I do, and then it ends up turning into where it's at today, and your videos, and it's just, you know. And then again, you know, you and I have always been kind of linked together in that in this universe, and to be able to, you know, talk and build a friendship and do a show and have a great time, it's been awesome. And there is, just to answer Mark's question, there's one game I think someone said in there at the Chargers. So that's the reunion of a little game against Kellen Moore. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, that'll be another interesting one, man. You know, I you know, Kellen Moore's got himself some weapons on that team. There ain't no lie about that. But let me tell you something. What I would love to see, man, I would love to see Dan Quinn just stick it to him. I would love to see the Chargers just lay a goose egg in that game. Dallas just roll in there, you know, just beat
Steamroll.
the living shit out of that offense, man. Just, they can't do shit. Dan Quinn's got old Wonder Boy sitting over there wondering if he should maybe start running some curls, or, you know, maybe he should do some of those fucking wide receiver screens or something. But I hope they do. I hope they just beat the living shit out of him. That defense just mauls the offense of the Chargers. So,
well, and the thing with the Chargers, I was trying to pull up some other schedules that way I can just kind of peek at it so we can talk some other stuff too. Is you know, why does Herbert get the pass that Dak doesn't? You know, Herbert hasn't done anything, but yeah, they put him in top 5. They put him in blew a huge lead against Jacksonville in the playoffs. I think he's a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I think he's got a lot of talent. I just don't understand how he gets the pass that, and I'm not asking for Dak to get a pass, but everyone's so critical of him for every little thing that he does, and they forget, you know, all the other things that he does well. And I think you and I talked about it, even with Campo. We've talked about it with Switzer. We've talked about it with Joe Washington. I mean, we can name them all. They've all said the same thing. It's consistency.
yeah.
If Dak can get that consistency, and I think consistency starts with the offensive coordinator putting his quarterback in positions to be successful. Now, that's on Dak. I mean, I'm not giving him a pass in it, but I'm thinking maybe McCarthy's system might be a little bit more, you know, quarterback friendly.
Well, yeah, I don't think anybody. I mean, as far as like, I mean, there may be some people that are just absolutely just drinking the Dak Kool-Aid and refuse to say anything negative about him. But anybody that's paid attention to you or me, like, I mean, it hasn't been, you know, we haven't been. We don't sit there and give Dak a pass. You know, we've talked about the times that he's played bad. I mean, shit, the video after we lost to San Fran, I'm sitting there and I'm telling you, I'm said, you know, the reason we lost, blaming on our $40 million fucking quarterback.
Yeah.
And
he had to own that.
And I stand by that. I still stand by that. I get people telling me, oh, now you're defending Dak. Now, listen, I think Dak is a good enough quarterback to win it. I don't think there's that big of a difference between him and Herbert. I don't think there's that much difference between him and Josh Allen. Josh Allen may be the better runner, but Dak can run the ball too. He's just been a little bit more hesitant since that leg injury, but Dak can throw the ball with the best of them. You can look up all the stats you want. Dak is one of the best deep ball throwers besides Patrick Mahomes, who nobody's Patrick Mahomes, so just throw that shit out the window. Dak is one of the most accurate throwers of the ball from throws of 20 yards or over through the air.
Yeah.
The man can place that ball on a dime. Look at the 3rd and 30 and watch that back. Watch that when he converted that against the Eagles. He put it where nobody else could get it, right in T.Y. Hilton's hands. I mean, right in his hands. And that pass was probably 50 fucking yards in the air, man.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that Dak doesn't have the talent, but when it comes to the big moments, it's got to play better. But I agree with you. I think a lot of that is the offensive coordinator. I don't think Kellen Moore I don't think he put him in great positions. I mean, you look at like that. What was it?
The five
game where he's running it. We're running. You know, there's no running backs. We're running 5 wide, and we're sitting there and we're like, why the fuck aren't we running the ball?
Yeah.
I mean, there'd be several times we're sitting there and we're moving the ball down the field. The Cowboys are pounding the ball down the field. Get into the red zone. Kellen Moore wants to start throwing the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not Dak. That's
No.
Kellen Moore calling pass plays. Like, don't get cute with it. Do what fucking got you down there and pound the ball into the goddamn end zone.
Exactly. And it's funny. We had Malik Rozier, former U. Had to get some U love in here. We get all these other guys in here. But we talked about that play because he was critical of Dak. And he came on the show and, hey, we asked a question. And he brought up consistency being a problem. And I brought up that, well, the coordinator puts him in that 5 wide. I mean, that you're put in a position, why even do it? He goes, I didn't understand it either. The only reason that you would go 5 wide there is if you had a quick strike, and if it wasn't there, you ran, and that was it. It was you're looking for one guy. You're not reading anything. It's one guy hit it. If he's not wide open, you just quarterback sneak it in and get as many yards as you can, or you score. And that's what he said, and that's coming from a quarterback. So I'll take what he says, as the gospel. And I just don't understand Kellen Moore. And we talked about it. You had the number 1 offense or top 5 offense for so many years, but any Cowboy fan who watched all the games, you're like, man, we didn't have the number 1 offense, man. That just didn't look right. I mean, we dropped 50 on Washington, we dropped 40 on Philly, we dropped it, but there were some games in the middle of there. You're like, what in the hell is this offense doing?
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I mean, we talked about it, and that was the frustrating thing is Kellen Moore getting cute in these situations where he didn't need to get cute, which it was just like, do what got you here, man. Like, you don't, it's almost like sometimes he would do the opposite of what was working. The running game's working. He's like, hey, let's throw the ball. The pass game ain't working, or the run game ain't working. He's like, let's fucking run the ball. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know what it was with Kellen Moore, but there was plenty of times where he just got cute in situations where he didn't have to get cute. But back looking at the schedule real quick. Now the whole schedule, where did you find this thing at? Because I keep going on here and I'm trying to find it. I want to bring this up and I want to bring up all the games. Where are you looking at this schedule at? Oh, Mike's got somebody on the other. Mike's got somebody calling in. So we got, somebody's joining the chat. Maybe there's the thing, no video feed. Anyway, I was just trying to find out where the schedule is at. I want to look at this thing and go kind of on a game by game thing and look and see what our win-loss record, what I might think the win-loss record or what we think it might be, just because I like to do that. It's always fun to do, especially right after the draft, before preseason. Probably do some things after training camp and everything, but want to check that out. So we got somebody.
We got someone on. Hey, Falcon, what's up, man? How's it going? Good. You hear him, Kelly?
I'm not getting any sound on my end.
All right, try it again. Falcon, you there? Can you hear him? Hang on 1 second, because I can hear you, but they can't. Hold on 1 second. Hang on. Try Alex, one more time. You there? No, it's not going through. Do me a favor. Just hang up and call right back.
All right, Alex, you saw it on the NFL app. I appreciate it. NFL Plus app. All right, so NFL Plus.
Let's see. I don't know what happened with our thing. So we're gonna.
I was telling these guys, I was trying to figure out. Alex in here chimed in, said he found the schedule on the NFL Plus app. I was trying to ask you where you got the schedule at.
Oh, I went on NFL.com and then go to schedule and hit Dallas.
Okay, yeah, because they definitely don't have it uploaded on the Dallas Cowboys thing yet. They don't have it uploaded on the Dallas. I figured Jerry Jones would already done have the schedule released.
Falcon, you there? Kelly, can you hear him now?
I'm still not getting any sound on my end.
Hey, can anyone in the chat hear him? I can hear you, Falcon. Can anyone in the chat hear him? I know. I hate this shit, man. I'm telling you.
Damn technology. Damn, it's technology. Maybe it's on my end. Can any? I don't know.
In the chat, can you hear Falcon? Falcon, say something. No, they can't hear you.
No.
Hey. Yeah, go ahead. You want to know about the? What part of the schedule we're worried about most? Okay, we're gonna answer it, and I apologize, man. We'll get this thing figured out. All right. See you. All right. Bye. All right. Sorry, I got to figure this thing out. But Falcon asks, what part of the schedule worries you the most? Worries you guys in the chat the most when you're looking at it? And I think, for me, I will give Ultra a little bit of kudos when you see in that early stretch of a lot of road games early on. That's probably what I would say is a concern, or that 3-game stretch of week 15, 16, 17 at Bills, at Dolphins, and then Lions at home. And you could take it a step further. The week before, you got the Eagles at home, and then you got a short week going to Buffalo. What do you think, Kelly?
I think the back end of the schedule worries me a little bit more about than the front end, just because back end of the schedule, you're at that point every team's dealing with injuries, so it's a question about how healthy you're going to be. But I mean, you look at that here, and you've got the Seahawks playoff team, Eagles playoff team, Bills playoff team, Dolphins are going to be likely a playoff team. You've got the Lions, who are just short of being a playoff team, which a lot of people think will be it, and then finish off with the division game with the Commanders. So you're talking about playing some pretty good talent right there along that back end of the schedule. And it's all going to be talking about your health, because in the beginning of the season everybody's healthy, and I feel like that's when you're going to see you see your freshest. Micah Parsons is going to be fresh. Dak Prescott, everybody, you're not dealing with all the injuries that you are on the back end of the schedule. Because when I look at the beginning of it, I see us getting a win over the Giants. Me and you are going to be at the house in AT&T Stadium. So the Jets, we're gonna say that's a win. The Cardinals, I'm not worried about the Cardinals. They still got a little midget playing quarterback right there. So I don't think the Cardinals are beating us. I don't think the Patriots are beating us. I think our first real test, and I'm not going to sit there and say the Jets won't be a test for us. I think the Giants, always playing on the road, will be a tough game. I think our first real test is going to be when we play the 49ers, when we go into Levi Stadium and play the 49ers. But I honestly, at that point, I could see us not having any losses at that point. Maybe one loss, depending on that. That Jets game is going to be a challenging game. I'm not lying, man. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has me seeing ghosts, man. As much as I want to beat the man, he has had our number. So I get a little bit nervous about that shit. But, I don't know, man. I find that this team, I think we're going to stack up well with anybody we play against, honestly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think I got it figured out. I'm afraid to put the number back in. I think what happened is my audio. How had my audio sound? Is my audio changed? Yeah. Sounds the same?
Sounds good, yeah.
It had my audio different, so I tried to get my brother to call me. I messaged him, but I'm let me see. I'm
watching on NFL Live. They got the Eagles 2023 scheduled notable games. Guess what? 2 of their notable games is week 9 and week 14. Guess who they're playing? Cowboys, baby. You know why them are notable games? Because they know that the goddamn Cowboys are coming for that ass.
Well, I tell you what, looking at the Eagles, now they pretty much have the same schedule as us, except obviously the first place teams, and then you're talking about the interconference one that we have the one game that we're playing the West. I mean, they got the Chiefs. I mean, they've got some tough games. Hang on, I'm gonna test this out.
They've got the. I'm looking here at their notable games real quick. So week 6, they got the Jets. They got the Chiefs in week 11. They got the Cowboys. I mean, and then here we go. Now we got the Cowboys, baby. Let's see. We got Sunday night 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nationally televised games out of 17. 7.
Well, and it's funny because we talked about how it's not even like you don't even need the NFL ticket if you're if you're a Cowboys fan, because every damn game is on TV.
You know what? Mark McDonald is over here advertising for us, Mike. He says he can be the sound guy for our show for a small fee here.
Well, we might have to do it because I think I've got it. I think I have it, but now my Bluetooth isn't connecting to the system, so I'm trying to find it. Let's just see what happens. But keep yapping, but we'll get this.
I don't know what Mark means by a small fee. I mean, that guy is
a beer. What do we got? What do we got?
That guy's wallet is so tight that if you put a piece of coal in it, you'd have a diamond in 2 weeks. That's how tight that guy's wallet is. I don't know about a small fee there, Mark. I don't know what you mean by a small fee.
Let me see.
How you spend or don't spend your money, but
hey, who do we got on the phone?
Hello.
There we go. I got it. We got sound, baby.
See, this is what happens. So now we get, I got to reach out to my son, the high school soon-to-be graduate, to make sure we're going on here. So I wanted to bring you on because, Kelly took the first pick. And it's not that you're my son and I don't love you, but I gave Kelly first pick, and he went ahead in the draft pick of who gets to hang with Mike Tagg at AT&T, and he took the Jets. So you have the second pick, being my firstborn. What game are you going to?
I'm gonna go to the. With the second pick of the Mike Tag draft. I'm gonna go to the Seahawks game.
You want to go to the Seahawks over Philly on Sunday night at AT&T?
Oh, I lied. We're going to Philadelphia.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I was like, boy, you better watch out. Someone that the third pick was going to scoop that up before you knew it. So.
I was joking. Mikey Schefter was joking.
All right. Well, anyway, I wanted to just to make sure we got the audio working, but we did, man. But I appreciate it. Drive home safe. Hopefully you had a good golf game. All right.
I did. Almost got a hole in one.
There you go. All right, man.
All right.
I'll see you. All right.
All right, later.
Love you.
Bye.
All right.
Oh,
So
man.
look at that.
We
get shit done. We go ahead and fix the audio issues. And sometimes we're just messing with you, trying to have some fun. So Falcon, I apologize. If you do want to call back in, you're welcome to. If you want to talk to Kelly K9 and I and anyone else, and also I will put. I wish more people would use this. Maybe they're scared, or maybe they don't want to miss the show because they, then maybe you log out or whatever it is. But I mean, all you guys got to do is click that link that I'm putting out there, and you're right in the studio. You're in the studio. You're hanging with Kelly K9 and Mike Tagg, and we're having a good time. So
damn right, you click it and get on here and get some audio. Don't worry, we're not going to judge anybody here. But hey, listen, I'm watching the TV here. We're doing some multitasking, obviously breaking down is good. I gotta go. I got some bullshit right here because we got Swagoo, doing stuff on here, doing his picks here, and man. He's got the Cowboys going 10-7. Now that may not be horrible, right?
Yeah.
But he's got us getting swept by the Eagles. So losing twice to the Eagles, which I don't see that happening. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And then he's got us. I told you the back part of our schedule was kind of what concerned me here. He's got us losing to the Eagles, the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Lions. So he's got us losing to every single one of those teams. So basically, he's got us on a 4-game losing streak, and then he's got us winning the Commanders. But he's got us losing to the Jets. He's got us losing to the Chargers, the Eagles. Basically, every team that's a playoff team, the only playoff team that he's got us beating the 49ers. And he's got us beating the Seahawks. Now, my question would be, I mean, obviously, I can't ask the guy. He's not on the show right now, but I'm asking.
Well, you don't know who you know who did the Chili's commercial with him, don't you?
You got to talk to the man.
I will talk to this man and
talk
find
to the man and ask him what in the hell's going through his damn mind here with this shit. Because how you gonna have us beating the 49ers, but then you got us losing to the Chargers and you guys losing to the Eagles twice? I mean, if we go through and we beat that vaunted 49ers defense on the road,
yeah,
man, forget about it. Shit, if we can get through that, I mean, I don't see at any point. I do not see at any point. I'm going to say this right now. I do not see this Cowboys team. I think they're going to lose a few games this year, but I feel like I don't see us losing more than 2 games in a row this season at all.
Yeah.
I don't see it, man. And I'm a very optimistic guy, but I think our toughest test on that will be when we play the Eagles that December 10th, and then we turn around and we play the Bills and the Dolphins and the Lions. Like that stretch right there, if we're gonna lose 2 games, if we're gonna lose back-to-back games, that could be the stretch. Other than that, I don't see it, man. I think this Cowboys team, I think we're winning 12 games again. Winning 12 games again. I might actually have us winning 13 games.
I mean, I would be more in the 11 to 12. I think the schedule is tough. And Mark, I see you kind of chopping in and out of our stream. I don't know if you're having technical difficulties, but I do see you. I don't see your video. We want to see smiling faces. So if you get that fixed, all you should have to do is click the link, type your name, and it takes you right in. If you guys want to hang and talk to us a little bit, tell us your feelings about the schedule, just chop it up with us a little bit, definitely. But, looking at wins and losses, obviously there's so many variables. We don't know injuries. We don't know this. We don't know that. But I think this team is a better team than last year. but it may not have 12 wins. It may have 11 wins. They've got a couple. I mean, you're looking at that Buffalo, at Miami. That's two pretty tough road games in a row. I mean, you got to, if you're talking as just an optimistic Cowboys fan, if you split that, you're feeling pretty good. And not to mention you got Philly, which you're going to be amped up for, and on a Sunday night, and then you got not really a short week, but you're getting done with the game late, and then you're heading up to Buffalo the next week. So that 3-game stretch, that's why I said that's going to be an interesting stretch for the Cowboys, because that's pretty serious.
Yeah.
Mark can help us with the audio issues, but he don't know shit about video. I hate to say it.
Mark's sitting there trying to figure it out. He's probably over there fumbling and bumbling around. I mean, come on, Mark, get in here. No, it's the thing is that I think the Cowboys are gonna be in contention for winning the NFC East. And I think that they can win the NFC East with just winning by going and doing 12 games. If they win 12 games, I think they can do it, because I think Philly's not going to win 12 games this year. I know Philly's a good team.
No, I think Philly.
I think with that harder schedule, I think they're going to have problems. And they lost some key pieces off that defense. They can trivialize it all they want. They can talk about the guys that they got in the draft. But, hey, let's face it, man. Philadelphia doesn't really draft all that great. I mean, that's facts are the facts. Look back at the guys that they've drafted, man. They just don't draft the greatest. These guys may come out of college looking like they're going to be fucking all-star studs, but I mean, Nakobe Dean, their second-round draft pick from last dude, barely even saw the field. Gordon Davis barely saw the field. Those are their first 2-round picks. I mean, their first-round pick this year might be behind bars wearing a fucking yellow jumpsuit or an orange jumpsuit.
He might be. And with that note, we got Mark with some video. What's up, my man? How you doing?
What's up, fellas?
Hey, what's up, Mark? We finally got you on here. Speaking of orange jumpsuits.
What's happening, man?
Nothing. I had to make I had to put a reminder to join the show because I keep forgetting.
Oh, we don't like that.
So I put a reminder. I was like, I'm not gonna miss this, man. I love this show, so I got to get on and work it out. Kelly, we're gonna talk later tonight, man, about what game will get you in Shady Down 2 or whatever, man. So
hey, man, I always appreciate that, man. This is a gracious man right here. He just kind of adopted me. I'm like his stepchild, and he decided that he was going to start sending me to a game every year, and so this will be the third year in a row that old Mark over here has decided to be gracious enough to give me. Now, I will say that when I come down there, I do offer. I said, hey, look, I'm gonna buy you a meal. We're gonna come out, we eat. And he never wants anything. He always refuses. I just tell him, hey, look, let me just give you a token of my gratitude. The guy just refuses. So, hey,
I gotta ask Mark, because I think that's just a cool thing. So what, obviously, are you a season ticket holder? I'm guessing.
Yes, sir.
So what made you want to do that for Kelly? I just got to ask as just a friend and a fan.
Hey, when I jumped on Twitter, I saw Kelly and Shady was the only two that really had the weird sense of humor like I have.
Yeah.
So I jumped to one of their conversations, and they didn't like, hey, who are you? Get out of my conversation, man. They just brought me in, and I was like, hey, you know what? And then Kelly was like, my girl's a Broncos fan, and I go in and give them the tickets here, man. Take your girl to the game. Sunday night, I had to go to Greece. So I gave him and Shady the tickets to go see the Bucks. So I mean, I told him, I said, look, as long as I got tickets, you guys got tickets. So
that's awesome. Now the only thing I'm going to say is I got a little bone to pick with you because that Bronco game I happened to beat to and we lost, and then he went to the Bucks game, we lost. So we're going to change it up with Shady. He going with Mike Tag to the Jets, and all I got to say is, if Kelly walks out happy hanging out with me, then we're gonna have to rethink this and make sure that you and Shady don't go to no games I go to, because I don't like walking out of there disappointed.
So you and Shady are going to the Jets game?
No, me and Mike are gonna go to the Jets game, and then I'll talk with you later about what game. We're gonna go to a game where for sure the Cowboys are gonna beat somebody's ass.
I guess I need to get Shady to come with me to the Jets game.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, you could do it.
There you
Good
go.
job.
We can all meet up. We can all meet up. Come to the tailgate. Mark here. I don't get him to drink anything. All the only thing he'll drink is sweet tea. But I mean, he'll down about 5 or 6 of them sweet teas while I'm down at about 15 or 20 of them Miller Lights, and then pissing like a kid with an 8-year-old with a baby bladder. But that's neither here nor there. Mark is just a great dude, man, and he's a great Cowboys fan. Just like many of the Cowboys fans on Twitter and just out there at Cowboys Nation. But yeah, man, he's giving me a chance to experience. It was my first Sunday night game, albeit it was a loss with Tom Brady, but I still got to see Tom Brady play quarterback. I still got to go to a Sunday night football game, opening game. That's going to be something I'll never forget, man. It's a memory that's etched in my mind forever. So, Mark, you're the man for that.
I was trying to get and Shady took his son to the Texans game, but I was trying to get a Monday night game for him and Shady to go to, but I guess we don't have any home Monday night games. So oh well. But my wife was in the game, so it's just me really with an extra ticket always. So we're good.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the schedule, Mark, what do you think about it? Just looking at it, what is your what's the game that you've got earmarked? Is there a particular game right now that you've got earmarked in the schedule, and how you think we're going to be this year? What do you think we're going to turn out like?
When I think a game like when I look at, I think we should beat the Chargers. I mean, not the Chargers, but like the Rams.
Yeah.
Don't have nothing, but we could be flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's those games that I say we should win that we don't win, but I think we're gonna do. I'm gonna say maybe 12-5.
Yeah. Hey, that'd be all right. Hey, look,
I would be happy with that. Yeah. I think with the schedule they got, if we could break that out, man, I would be happy.
Well, hey, listen, we endured one coach. We had one coach, and hey, look, I love the guy because we did get to talk to him. But Dave Campo with the 3, 5, and 11 years. Flip the script here now with Mike McCarthy going 12-5, 3 years in a row going 12-5. Now, if you do that, I got to say that's pretty impressive because look, it's the first time that we had 2 back-to-back 12-win seasons, and if we do it 3 years in a row, I mean, I don't know another time in our history where we've ever done that.
Yeah.
So I mean, you would have to give Mike McCarthy some credit if we're going to do that, and I believe I'm right there with you, Mark. I think we're in the 11-12 range, but you're right about some of the games are the ones that we think we should win.
We're saying it. I was there at Jacksonville. I mean, that was one, and Green Bay was the other one last year where you own it, and then the wheels fall off, and it just that's the consistency that we talk about with the Cowboys and with Dak Prescott. The Cowboys just got to be consistent. If you're going to get beat, I mean, just get beat.
I'm like, come on, guys. I mean, we should be knocking these little really two teams out of the box, but it's a nail biter.
Yeah. Yep. It is. And that's the frustrating thing about the Cowboys. And it's funny because the theme amongst the Cowboys that me and Mike, all the people that we've talked to, the coaches, former head coaches, players, they all say the same thing: consistency.
Yeah,
it's lack of consistency at the quarterback position, and it's a lack of consistency just in the overall team, just not being consistent. Now, I will say that I think that McCarthy's got them on the right track. I think they've been more consistent in the past 2 years than they were at any point in Jason Garrett's career as a head coach. So I do definitely like the direction they're going, but it's still one of those things where we're not, from week to week, you just don't really know what you're going to get. You may get the Cowboys team that scores 40, or you may get the team that played the Washington Commanders at the end of the season last year and got our asses beat. I mean, it's frustrating. It's frustrating.
It is. It's because it shouldn't be. This team is too talented to have those kind of flubs, and that's the part that as a fan, it just gives fuel to the haters. It gives fuel to the fire to that, and that's the part that's that kills you as a Cowboys fan. Losing to the Bills on the road, if it ends up being a good game, you can live with that. But losing to Jacksonville, it wasn't a bad team, but you won that game. It was over. Oh. And then losing to the Packers in the way that we lost to the Packers, and then obviously the Washington game, just coming out when you're saying you're playing to win and just to come out and look as bad as they did. Yeah. That's the part that gets the haters and the people who don't like Dak Prescott. It gives them the fuel.
Well, the bad thing about that game, sorry, Mark, the bad thing about that game was I remember a couple weeks before I was talking all kinds of shit when the Eagles lost, because you remember the Eagles lost. I said, "You guys lost to Taylor fucking Heineke." I said, "You guys are trash, garbage." And then Taylor Heineke rolls in, and beats the living shit out of us. I'm going, well, that's all I get for opening my big mouth. But
yeah. So it's crazy. But,
I'm sorry, Mark. I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying?
I think of Jalen Tolbert, breakout year or what?
Oh, all right. Well, wait. Give it 2 seconds because the Tolbert is booty chat's going to be coming in 2 seconds. Listen, I'll say it a million times. At least for me, is I watched him in college. I've said the stories. I don't want to keep repeating it, but I've seen him play. The kid's got talent. Maybe the first year things were too big for him. Maybe, whatever reason, he definitely didn't produce. He's coming in as a fourth receiver.
Yeah.
He's got to be able to contribute, and he's got to be able to, to play in that role and be effective. If it's not, it's going to be an ultra Cowboy. It'll be an ultra disappointment for me. And drafting him where they did, I mean, they got to start seeing some contribution. He said all the right things. He's doing all the right things, and I think it'll come together for him. I don't know, Kelly, what your thoughts are.
You know what? We're gonna find out soon enough, man. You'll start hearing his name in training camp. We'll see how he goes, but I think you're gonna see a heavy dose of Tolbert in the preseason.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna see him. I'm not sure how much time he'll get running with the ones, but you're definitely going to see a heavy dose of him because you're going to get him onto the field, and you're going to want to see what you got. I mean, you invested a third round pick with him, and going into last year, the expectation with Gallup starting on the injury, with basically with us having guys that grocery baggers out here, catching passes for Dak Prescott. I mean, I didn't heard any of these guys really. I mean, what was it? Somebody said Dennis Houston. I think it was Dennis Houston. And,
yeah.
And then you had, what was that? Is it Semi Fajoko? And,
yep.
Just a bunch of guys that you didn't even know who they were. And you thought, okay, surely a third round pick coming out of Alabama, Jalen Tolbert. Certainly this guy's going to come out and have an impact right away. And a lot of people were predicting him to be the guy that made the impact on the Dallas Cowboys team. Turns out that everybody was dead ass wrong on that. It turned out to be Tyler Smith and and Sam Williams made a pretty good impact our second, and then our third round pick just kind of dropped off. But we ended up getting contributions from a lot of players in that draft, though. When you look down that draft all the way down to Deron Bland,
yep.
A lot of the guys that we picked up saw some significant playing time. So it was a disappointment to not see Tolbert be one of those guys. Definitely looking forward to him. I mean, if he doesn't do it this year, he's probably not on the team next year.
Yeah.
So, this is for him. This is his. This is, I guess, his make or break year. You know what I mean? You either do it this year, or you're probably playing in the XFL. Yeah, you're going to the XFL. So,
Mark, you think you got hope for Tolbert, or you?
I do. Him and Semi are my two wild cards.
Yeah.
But I him and Semi, but I really wish they use Turpin a lot more. But Tolbert and Semi are my two wild cards. I think we got that receiver core. I don't think we need any more receivers. Kelly, I know you was talking about why we didn't bring the guy from the Colts back.
Ty.
Oh, Ty.
Yeah. But I think with Tolbert and Semi, I think we didn't need to bring him back. But I think our receiving core is going to be real solid. So I'm looking.
And like Falcon said with Gallup, I mean that's really that's the big wild card with him, because obviously coming off that injury, now he's 2 years removed for it.
Yep.
They usually say that's kind of the key point. I'm gonna give a little pay some love. I don't have a can of beer. I got the twist cap, but like Cowboys can fan, they say crack him if you got him. So we just got to twist him if we got him. So
I don't drink, but y'all go ahead and have a good one. Have one on me.
No, I appreciate it. But thank you for breaking the ice. I always say is, I wish people would come in, because like this is cool. Getting to talk to you, because I interact with a lot of people, and we've interacted, and getting the face and the name of the face. And then hopefully, man, if you got if you're a season ticket holder, you're like, man, why aren't we hanging out at these games? Why don't I see you at the tailgate?
Hey, trust me, you're going to see me this year. I promise. I promise. Right. I park in lot 12. I think y'all in lot 10.
Yep.
Yeah. So trust me, you're going to see me a lot at the games this year. So I'll
right.
promise. What section you in, right quick, Mike?
I'm in. I knew you were going to say that. I'm in. I think 233.
Okay. Oh, see, he's in a. That's what I'm trying to get down to. I'm a
That's what we do. I mean, that's what I try to explain to Kelly. When you hang with Mike Tagg and the Lear Jet, fueling things up, man, it's nothing but the best. You know how that goes. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm in 347, but I started out at the last seat in the house, up top, and now I moved down. So I'm trying to get to level 200, but my ticket reservation person keeps stalling me, so I'm gonna have to.
I was in 327 for a few years.
Okay.
And so I was like right there in the corner. And there were great seats. I was front row, so I had no one in front of me, and then you had to drop. So I loved it. But I wanted to upgrade and was fortunate enough to get the opportunity, and they had that, so I did it. The only negative of mine is I'm in the middle, which is good or bad because the seats are wider, which helps out, right? Helps, and they're cushioned, so that helps out too. But sometimes when you're on the edge, everyone just keeps leaving, and you got to get up a million times. So sometimes the middle's not so bad because they're going one way or the other, not your way.
So that for a fact, I'm in seat 1 and 2, so we got to always get up and everybody come in, and I'm like, oh hell, sit down.
Yeah. See, I got a problem, and my problem is that when I drink beer, which is my favorite beverage. Now I will drink some liquor every once, but I love beer. But after about 6, 7 of them, I got the bladder of a 2-year-old, man. I'm pissing every 15 minutes. So I mean, it's horrible. I'm having to get up and walk past all these people. Like, God dang, he's going to the bathroom again. So when I go to the Cowboys games now, my strategy is kind of like how it was when I was at the draft and doing a couple other things. I said, you know what? I'm not gonna drink a lot of beer. I'm just gonna take shots every once in a while. So I'll take a shot every few and drink, like, sip on a beer, but take my shots and get my get my buzz on them shots. That way it's easy on my bladder. So you know what I mean? As a guy gets a little bit older, the bladder gets a little weaker. So
I gotta tell you, I usually will drink the tailgate, and about an hour and a half I stop. Because 1, I don't like to go to the bathroom, and 2, I just like to keep my senses with me because you just you don't know what you're walking into.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. See, I need to take this is why I roll with Mike over here, because he's got the wisdom, man. He's got the wisdom, so that's what I need to be doing.
Yeah. So, but Mark, I appreciate you jumping out, man.
Thank you.
I hope we get to see it, and I think what you do for Kelly and Shady, I mean, that's what I tell people. That's what's so cool about being in Cowboys Nation. It's a family. When I go there, it's a family. I've told people even though you see the videos and you see when you meet me, I'm a very quiet person for the most part. I'm an introvert until you get to know me. Then my personality comes out. And but the opportunity, I told my wife, I said, I think I can go to a Cowboys game by myself. I think I'd fly out there, and I think I'd have a good time. I'd find people to hang out with because it is a family. So seeing what you do and seeing and hanging with everyone else, it's just an awesome thing. So can't thank you enough, and it just shows the kind of person that you are, man. I appreciate it, and we'll definitely see it out of AT&T.
Yes. All right,
All right. Take care, man.
Thanks for jumping on, Mark, man. Good seeing you, bro.
All right, same here.
All right, man.
Now that's cool. So that's what I'm saying, man. You guys click that link, man, and come and talk to us. It's awesome. But until then, so Kelly, we had some chats on defense. So first we'll start with Jabril Cox, man. I mean, we got to see him step up, right? I mean,
he's got to do something.
He took some time, but Jabril, we were high hopes, and then he got that injury, and we didn't really see him much last year.
Yeah, which was puzzling because he's a guy that his name was getting bantered around as a guy who was going to be making a leap from the first to the second year, and the people were saying, hey, watch out for Jabril Cox. And I mean, I was even one of those guys that I saw some flashes from him that first year that thought, man, this guy could be something here. And I actually was one that in the off season last year was actually saying that Jabril Cox and having Clark and bringing on the linebacker that we got. I'm brain fart right here, but the guy that we got from Minnesota, the guy from last year that we got on from Minnesota.
Oh, Barr,
the veteran, Barr. Yeah. So I mean, with the additions of a lot of these guys that we had, plus some of these younger guys, I'm sitting here thinking, Leighton Vander Esch could be a guy that was on a bubble watch for me.
Oh yeah,
he was in the last year of his contract. I said, hey, if this guy's not, doesn't come out and start producing, man, they might, might get rid of him, but it didn't turn out that way. And LVE ends up signing a deal, and he's multi-year deal, and he's back with us. But yeah, Jabril is a head scratcher, so he's another guy that's gonna have to get on the field and start making some plays, because if not, may not be room for him.
Yeah, and really with Turpin, a lot of people saying we got to get him involved more in the offense, aside from the special teams. I guess my question is, there's a lot of chirping, and I think they've got to get him in the offense because there's a lot of stuff going on with maybe Deuce Vaughn seeing some special teams action. What would that do to Turpin? Because our receivers, like you said, if you had Tolbert, you get Simeon, they drafted another kid was the 7th rounder, so maybe he'll end up being a practice squad. That you're only keeping so many receivers. So with Turpin, I thought he did a good job in returning kicks and punts. I was honestly, and again, maybe I'll get some hate with it. Maybe I wouldn't. I was surprised he made the Pro Bowl. If my memory's right, and I try and forget season, I thought there was some fumbles. I thought there was some things that happened that were that were disappointing. But anyway, I think he is electric. I think he could be a game changer for us, and he had some big plays. But I think getting him involved in the offense and almost like the way that who is it, Patterson, who is bigger, but getting him in different plays and some gadget plays on the offense, that would be. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, and I think with Turpin, the thing was that he was just so close to breaking one. He's so close to breaking one all year long. You just kept thinking, all right, surely he's gonna get one and run one back, and it's never happened. He came very, very close. Now, the thing that I will say, I had somebody ask me about Deuce Vaughn. I know that Tony Pollard, when he came out of Memphis, Tony Pollard was a pretty dynamic return guy. He did well in the return game. Now I looked at Kansas State, and the only time that he was ever involved in the return game was his freshman year, and he didn't do anything really eye popping. Just looking at his return game, and not every running back, not every running back that's a dynamic running back is also great in the return game. So yeah. I don't know about him in the return game. I think if it all depends on his role with the team. If he immediately comes in and he's the number 2 guy, like right away, and he's the number 2, you're not risking him on returns. No. You know what I mean? That's something you're saving for a guy like Turpin or or somebody else maybe that they've drafted this year. But I'd like to see Turpin get a second year. I'd like to see him get a second year. And with that speed that he has and with the, the elusiveness that he's got in the open field and the ability to accelerate, I'd like to see them put him in some positions where he can make plays. So, I mean, that's what you brought him there for. You brought him there for his speed. You brought him there, and he's even said it. Turpin's even said it. He said, look, I think he was the lead receiver in the XFL. So,
he could be an all-around player for us. I know, again, talking about Deuce Vaughn with his size, too small for the NFL. I mean, we've given you names of players that have been very effective, and we had Joe Washington on, who his nickname was Little Joe, and I thought it was because he was smaller, because he was a smaller back, but his dad gave him that nickname, and we asked him about it because he's a smaller guy, and he made some great points. He said the one thing about a smaller running back is those guys got to get low to get them. And if they can, it's a problem. And that's why you see a lot of those guys have a lot of success. He's not going to be a guy that's going to be a workhorse, so it'd be dead. Yeah. I mean, we're not asking the guy to carry 20 times a game, but he's a guy that could come in and bring explosive plays to the offense, whether it be through receiver, whether it be running back, whatever it is. He's a guy that, he may get 5 or 6 touches or whatever it is throughout the game, catching and running. That's what I think Deuce Vaughn's going to bring, which leads me to, you've got Pollard, you got Deuce, we've talked about Ronald Jones. I mean, you're hearing the Zeke stuff out there, and I don't want to keep bringing it up, but Skip Pete came out. I live in Tampa, and there's been rumors of him coming down to Tampa, and Skip Pete, who was the running backs coach, if you remember, in Dallas.
That's Zeke's guy.
He talked about it a long time. He talked about it, and he said Zeke's just got to come to the understanding and acceptance that he's a backup. his role. He's not, whatever team he
Right.
goes to, he's not going to be the man anymore. And that's just,
Nope.
there's nothing wrong with that. There was someone made a comparison. I don't know if it was on 105.3 or whatever it was, but they made a comparison of Zeke. It could have a career like Mark Ingram.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm right there with that. I can't even count how many times I made the comparison of him and Pollard to Ingram and Kamara.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any better comparison when it comes to two running backs. I think their styles are very similar. What they do is very similar. What they bring to the table is very similar. And I agree, man. You want a short yardage back that can pick up short yardage. You want a guy that can power in the end zone. I mean, you look at Zeke's touchdowns last year. I think he had, 9 or 10 touchdowns?
I thought he was double digits, but
might be 12 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But I know that almost every single one of his touchdowns, if you look them up, 1 or 2 yard touchdowns.
No, so short yardage and goal line, there's a value there.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a value there because I don't know if we have a running back on the roster unless if you're sold on Jones.
That's a power guy.
Closest one. That would be it.
Yeah. Which,
unless you like Malik Davis. If you like Davis, which I liked him,
I do.
But I mean, are you going to put all your faith in that? I remember he was pass protecting one time and he got Dak Prescott almost killed.
He did. Now here's my wild card on this though. When we're talking about a power guy, we brought a fullback onto the roster now. Hunter Lupke, is that fullback. Could we see some action at the fullback position?
Now that would be an option too. And I don't know enough about him. I know he had like 1,600 yards. I mean, he had a lot, but you're going to put it on a rookie. I mean, and like we talked about with Joe, the running game is just it's changed. And
it has.
These guys you got 5 years, 6 years of, and they're just kind of getting thrown away. Or the roles get heavily diminished. So it will be interesting what they do. And I'm a fan of the running backs. I think running the ball is the key to success. I know everyone loves the pass and this and that, but I think when you can break the defense's will, and we've been on the other side of it, so we've seen it and how frustrating it is as a fan when these teams just run the ball down your throat and there's not shit you can do about it. I think that's an area where I have an uneasy feeling right now about our running game. I'm not feeling overly confident about it.
Well, I do too, just because of the fact that we don't really have that power guy. But what I'm wanting to know now is what I want to see, I guess. And the thing is, I don't know that they'll show a whole lot of this in preseason. Hopefully they'll be working on it in training camp. But running the ball, I love the fact of having a fullback, just because fullback is almost like the forgotten position in football. It's not utilized very much. There's not very many teams that run with a fullback, that run their offense to fullback on the field.
Well, hopefully we're going to have a pretty damn good fullback coming out in the cave soon. So stay tuned. Dallas Cowboy fullback. I don't want to jinx it, but go ahead. So.
Well, no, but when you talk about the fullback position, it gives you some interesting flexibility in the run game, which is why I feel like they brought a guy in like Hunter Lupke. I mean, I was kind of, I looked and I kept seeing him in all these mock drafts, and he was there, and I would take him in the 7th round in my mock draft. But I actually kind of looked to see this kid to be like, hey, what's this kid like? Man, his kid's got some talent. He's got some dog in him. He's like all the other players, it seems like we drafted, got some dog in him. He's got some cockiness. He's got that swag, and he can back it up. He's a bigger guy. He's physical. So running some sets with I'm sitting here, my mind's running wild here, but Deuce Vaughn, Tony Pollard, and you got a fullback in the backfield. You've got 3 backs in the backfield. I mean, you can.
What are you running the wishbone on me?
That's what I'm saying. Let's bring back a little wishbone, for the OU and Nebraska days. It was Joe that got me thinking about this here now. So, but I'm just sitting there thinking about it, and I'm you could do some interesting things in the run game. So it's how creative are Schottenheimer and McCarthy going to get in this run game with the positions, with the weapons that you have? How are you going to utilize them, right?
Yeah.
So it's just, it's going to be a lot of intriguing things, in my opinion, man, because we no longer have Kellen Moore. So this offense can go a lot of ways, in my opinion. A lot of ways.
And I just wonder in the chat, what is what is your what position group has you concerned? Is there anything that has you staying up all night just saying, man, I just don't know, whether it be the secondary, the linebackers, the D line, the receiving core, the running backs, quarterback, which I know Ultra will pick the quarterback, tight ends, we've got that. So what is getting you concerned? Now, Micah Parsons, is we're talking about Micah Parsons being a full-time DN, that makes you feel pretty good about your defensive line, but how does that make you feel about your linebackers?
Linebacker position, yeah. And and guys, when you're thinking about answering questions, don't hesitate to hit that link. I've been seeing Mike; he's hitting
I
it through
know.
the
I
chat,
put it
guys.
on there. I try and get these guys in here, man. Some of them talk a lot of hate, but they don't say a whole lot. They get the opportunity to come in here and tell us how you feel, man. We're fans. I think we both told you, I'm no expert. I'm not breaking down film or anything like that. I'll leave it to other guys that do phenomenal jobs. I'm speaking from a fan. I'm going to give you my fan point of view, and I'm probably wrong a lot of the times.
Yeah, and you know what? We're not gonna sit here and put anybody on the hot seat here and ask you any hard hitting questions. This ain't Dateline. This ain't 60 Minutes. We're not doing no shit like that. We're just in here. We're wanting to know what's your feelings on the teams. There's no wrong or right answers here. Nobody's holding your feet to the flame. We're not gonna pull any clips and post them out on Twitter and make you look silly, man. We want you to interact. We want people to join in the show. This is what makes us different than everybody else. We want you to come on. Your face, your audio, whatever the hell you do, just come on and join. But we love you in the chat either way. So
I've seen a couple, Kelly, and I know you have a different opinion, and maybe you can ease some minds of Falcon and Mark with the secondary and safety position. How are you?
I think we're good there.
I know you do. So ease their mind.
We're good there. Listen, I think we're good there, man. I think that we are in the best position the secondary has been in a very long time.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I mean, when you talk about bringing a guy like Gilmore in and you've got him playing on the other side of Diggs, you've got Bland in the slot. And when it comes to safety, I mean, let's face it, we got a couple of dogs back there. I mean, our safety position is good. We went ahead and we re-signed Curse, which I was banging the table for. We got to bring him back in here. I mean, our safety position is good. And then you got Woods. I mean, that dude brings the heat. So, I mean, I love our secondary. I think our secondary has I think we have the capabilities of being the best secondary in the NFL. I really do. I think with the addition of Gilmore, and I don't. Did we cut Brown?
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it, but
I think he's a free agent. I think he may be a free agent, but I don't think he's signed anywhere else yet. So there's the possibility of bringing Anthony Brown, which I wouldn't be opposed to that. Because, hey, man, I mean, depth and the guy didn't play too bad last year. Let's face it. When he went down, you saw what our secondary started to look like. We're just plug and play guys in here. We're just basically what my grandpa used to say. We're throwing shit at the wall and seeing what will stick. But for me personally, I feel like the Cowboys' greatest weakness is our offensive line. I was pretty disappointed that we took a tight end with the second overall pick. I was hoping we would have went offensive line there. There was a couple of guys out there that we could have had. I was a little disappointed about that just because, I don't know, outside of Tyler Smith and Martin, I don't know what we have out there. Yeah. Tyron Smith, we already know what he is, but we also know what he isn't, and that's reliable.
Yeah.
So
he ain't gonna he gonna miss some time. I mean,
he's gonna miss. Oh,
we're thankful that he missed the time earlier in the season. And I think we talked about it on another show. Is like every guy got hurt, another guy came back. Guy got hurt, another guy came back. So we were very fortunate. And you got was Lecco or was
Let's
Lecco?
Go. Yeah, you got Let's Go that had an injury that he dealt with. They're
high on him coming back. We all saw what Ball did. Is Ball in there still? I think he's still in there. We don't want to see that shit no more.
He is, but I don't know why. I have no idea why, man. I mean, I would rather stab searing hot ice picks into my fucking eyes than watch him play offensive. I mean, just oh god, on that line, he's just horrible.
You know what was interesting is they had the all salary team in the NFL. I think NFL.com did it. I don't know where it's at, but 2 of the 5 Eagle offensive linemen, they got a great offensive lineman, 2 of the highest paid at their position. And for what it's worth, their offensive line, you got to, as much as we want to bust on the Eagles, you got to give them their due. Their offensive line is the best in the league. I mean, you gotta call it for what it is, and that's what Dallas. They're close, but what happens is if they get one little nick, like you said, man, there's a huge drop off. And I think to your point of easing some concerns in the secondary, I think outside cornerback, I think if Diggs or Gilmore were to go down, I think we're probably in some trouble. I mean, but I think safety, we're deep. I know someone put safety. I think safety, we're about as deep as you can. As you could pray to be. I think
we'll be just fine there. And we've still got some young guys here, that are developing that may not have looked, the best I should. But we got, J. Lou, Jordan Lewis still on the squad. He's back with us. He's not horrible. You look at Nashawn Wright was a guy who flashed at times last year, especially in the preseason. He's a guy that's still developing. So we've got some young guys back there in that secondary that are still going to be back there for depth purposes, and that should be better with an extra year under their belt. People forget Deron Bland also, as much as we were high on him, that was his rookie season last year. Typically, DBs get better in their second year. They make that jump from year 1 to year 2. So I think we will see. We saw it in Diggs. I mean, what was it? Second year, Diggs comes out and has 11 interceptions. So, not saying Bland's going to get 11 interceptions, but I've got some high hopes in him. So I feel like there's a lot of depth on there. And whether it be secondary, whether it be safety, I feel very comfortable in that position. It's offensive line that concerns me. I know right now the Cowboys have about, I think they said after June 1st, I think that they said, I read that they'll have somewhere between 22 and 25 million. I think it's $25 million in salary cap. Now that's some dollars, and they can do something with that money. So you can, there's still some names out there that they may be able to pick up, come training camp if they don't like what they see off the offensive line. And I don't know about bringing Jason Peters back.
I was going to say he's pretty old, man.
I think the only place I'm bringing Jason Peters back is to Shady Acres retirement home because he's pretty much done. So I don't think we're bringing him back. But
no, the funny, I was looking, and I love Emmanuel Sanders. I think I'm gonna have to go get him checked to make sure he's okay because I'm concerned. He had the Eagles starting out 9-0 and finishing 13-4, and he had them beaten Dallas twice. They had him beaten Dallas twice. I'm just
there's a lot of people,
and I'm fine. I think it's good. It's interesting because they're still and hey, the Eagles are the NFC defending champions. You got to give them their due, but I just find it very hard to believe that they're going to beat us twice. I do. I think we'll beat them on the road. They'll beat us, but we're beating them at AT&T. You bet your ass on that. And so I don't know what it is, but it's fine.
It's fine. Here's the thing here. The Eagles players are doing a lot of chirping.
Yeah.
And don't think that doesn't resonate and that these Dallas Cowboys, because here's the thing, social media has become a lot more prevalent in the sports and in the game. And so you've got these players that are coming out here, they're making tweets and talk. I don't know if you saw the deal about the running back from Detroit that came in and got number 0.
Yeah.
0 is how many games the playoff game, okay. You don't think that shit hits the guys in there, and they don't hear that. They don't see that. They know that Philadelphia has got a target on their back right now because they played in the Super Bowl last year. They won the NFC East last year. But, no team has won the NFC East consecutive years and over a decade. So that is an up and down division. It's very competitive. It's one of those things where you got a target on your back now. So if you're Philly, you're going to get everybody's best shot because you were in the Super Bowl last year. So now everybody wants to knock you off. You may not have won it. You're not the defending champions. You're the defending participation trophy winners. But still, you've got the Philadelphia Eagles out there with a target on their back. And you got the Dallas Cowboys set up with some sharpshooters like Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs and Stephon Gilmore and J-Ron Curson. We're just ready to go ham on these guys, man. Jalen Hurts is about to be in for a world of hurt when he comes to AT&T Stadium.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing you need to look at, and you could say it's maybe a coincidence. I could be wrong. So Ultra, I think he's the aficionado on statistics, but usually the losing team of the Super Bowl has a little bit of a lull. And I think one of the things that you got to think about, and that's why I said even with the Cowboys, I'd be cautious of a 14-3 or 13-4 or whatever it is. Look at the schedule that they're playing. They're playing the AFC East, and they're going to be playing a team from the AFC West with the Cowboys and Chargers, and with the Eagles, it's going to be the Chiefs. They have the toughest schedules in the league. They're going to be in the schedule's not easy, and for the Eagles, just like the Cowboys, we deal with it. And you guys see it. Every team gets up to play you, and every team's going to be up to. There's no surprise attacks. The Eagles, they surprised a lot of teams last year. You can go look at the beginning of it, look at all their fans. None of them expected anything. They wanted Hurts out of there. They didn't want nothing to do with all the other shit that they talked about. And then they come back and he's the next coming. Now, I love Hurts. I always liked him out of college. I got nothing, I don't have a bad thing to say about him. He was a Cowboys fan growing up, so how the hell can I hate on him? But the thing is, these teams are going to be coming at him. And I do not think the Eagles are going to be 9-0, and I don't think they're going to be all this. They lost both their coordinators, offensive, defensive. Those are hits that you've got to take, and they're going to have to recover from. And it's just going to be interesting to see what happens. And I know I saw Swift on there, but Winston said it best. Mike is going to eat up Swift. Swift, who they're saying you'd think they got Barry Sanders from Detroit.
You would have thought.
He hasn't gotten over 6. I don't think he ever got 700 yards rushing in his career in a season. He's hurt all the time. He shows flashes of it, but he's living off whatever the hell it is. But I don't understand. I'll take the Sanders, the running back that they had before, over him all day.
Well, and here's the thing. You mentioned a really good thing, the coordinators. Because here's the thing. Sometimes offensive coordinators have a whole hell of a lot on why a quarterback looks the way that he does.
Yeah.
Whether good or bad, right? So they did lose that. They also lost their defense coordinator. They also lost 5 starters off that defense from last year. They lost Javon Hargrave, who was outstanding off that defensive line, TJ Edwards, Kazir White, CJ Gardner-Johnson, and Marcus Epps. That's both of their that's both their linebackers and both of their safeties.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you don't just lose starters like that. And they haven't replaced them with anybody. They've drafted, but they haven't signed anybody.
They drafted Hope,
Yeah. So you're depending on rookies to come in and make these contributions, or guys that were sitting back to come in and have the same production level as defensive starters. 5 of them. 5. That's 50. That's almost 50% of your defensive starting roster that you lost. So that I don't think I don't think enough people are talking about that. They're looking at Philly, they're looking at that offense, they're looking at Jalen Hurts, this and that, but they're not looking at the key players that they lost on this defense, as well as their defensive coordinator. You don't just lose those kind of pieces and just keep on rolling. You just don't.
No.
And I'm not saying that they won't be good, but
walking in, he confirms his 2nd-round pick. He wants the Eagles. I'm just telling everyone for the game, but no, you don't, and that's why he wants to see the Eagles, because he knows his old man, when he goes to the game, don't get disappointed. So I'm telling you now, we're gonna beat the Eagles. And like Ultra, I don't know what the hell to think of. He trashes the Cowboys. They're gonna be 6-11, but he thinks one of those wins is gonna be against the Eagles.
Well, maybe it's just the fact that he hates the Eagles enough that he can't stomach to say that they would sweep the Cowboys. Because if I said that, I'd have to go wash my mouth out with some Listerine. Because
I know, and we're having a great time. Hey, just make sure, if you guys haven't hit that like button, smash that like button. If you hadn't subscribed, hit that subscribe. We appreciate it. I looked at it. I'm gonna be honest. Hey, Kelly, I didn't share a lot. I look at the numbers. I'm an analytical guy, by nature, and I'm just amazed all the views and all the support that we get from non-subscribers. So if you're on here checking us out and you're digging it every week, you need to subscribe. It helps us out, but it keeps you alerted with with everything that's going on. If you're new to the show, go back in the playlist. you could see all the interviews that we've done. And I'm telling you, man, you guys might call me a boomer, whatever the hell you want to call me. When you get the opportunity to listen to stories of guys who played before and set the groundwork of what the players are today, we're talking about, Craig Morton, Doug Cosby, and your coaches like Barry Switzer, Dennis Erickson, Dave Campo, JT Thomas of the Steelers Steel Curtain, defense, and Joe Washington, and we've got Jeff Bostic, the Pro Bowl center for the Washington Redskins, and get the other side of the rivals. You can hear all that other stuff, how people hate the Cowboys and what it was like from that side. It's awesome, man. So make sure if you're new and you hadn't seen that, check out some of our old videos too on those playlists.
Yeah, he's got a good point. Guys, there's been some very good stuff, and if you missed it, you can go back and watch it. Whether you're on your lunch break, you're driving to work, whatever. You probably shouldn't watch it while you're driving to work. I take that back. That's probably not the smartest.
You can listen,
but you can listen to it.
Interviews.
You can listen to it. You can set your phone in your cup holder and just listen to it. But yeah, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, absolutely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing. If you need help and you need me to walk you through it, your technology challenge, which I don't believe any of you that made your way here are, well, maybe Mark. Mark couldn't really figure out the whole, audio thing. It took him a minute, but he made it on. He made it on and he tried. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Hit that subscribe. If not, we will come and find you. No,
absolutely. But hey, and it's just going to get better as this season goes on. What you're seeing here, we're going to be doing that. And I saw Eugene Lockhart. Now, Eugene Lockhart committed to come on the show. We're having some schedule conflicts, but I definitely want to get Eugene Lockhart. He's an interesting one. Like I told the story, I think I told you, Kelly. He had 222 tackles with the Cowboys in 19. I want to say it was the 89 season that they were 1-15. He was the only bright spot. I think he got, made the Pro Bowl and everything. They traded him to New England. And with that pick, they got Russell Maryland, if my memory is right. And when he got traded, he loved the Cowboys. And he said, they interviewed him. They said, man, how you feeling? He goes, the NFL it's a cold business. And it's even colder in New England. That he laughed, man.
It's like I was telling our guest yesterday when he said that he got traded from San Diego to Baltimore, and he said he loved playing with Baltimore. It was one of the favorite places he played. I said, well, you probably didn't like the weather. Yeah, there's no way you may have liked Baltimore, but you certainly didn't like the weather going from San Diego to Baltimore.
So there's and those are the types of comment. I mean, the beauty of some of these older guys, man, these guys, they don't care. I mean, they'll tell you how they feel. They'll tell you great stories. I mean, Joe Washington, he's got to be the ultimate storyteller. And for you guys that were on the show, we sat 10 minutes with him afterwards. Kelly, he was going through all the comments, and he was reading all of it, and he got a kick out of it.
Yeah, he did. He thought it was really cool.
It made his day. So it was a lot of fun. And I was thinking about it, and maybe I don't know if what Jerry's thoughts. Someone asked a question about Jerry Jones. I don't know if Jerry's in the house or wants to be in the house, but I mean, you're seeing the schedule. If Jerry's seeing the schedule, I mean, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on what you're seeing with the Cowboys?
Well, when I look at the schedule, I can't help but think what a hell of a job I've done. I've built this multi-billion-dollar franchise from the ground up. And now you look at us and we got seven, count them up. You're going to need more than one hand. You're going to need to use two. That's how you count to seven. 7 primetime games for these Dallas Cowboys. Now, when we play on prime time, we are bringing our A game. To quote the late Terrell Owens. Well, not late. He's still around. But to quote Terrell Owens, get your popcorn ready, because it's going to be one hell of a show when the Dallas Cowboys roll into town. So congratulations to myself and all of you at Cowboys Nation that will be willing to pay $80 for a slice of pizza and $500 for season tickets. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be me.
Oh man, I love it. And all you guys too, man. I dropped a hype video. It's been a long time. So now you're getting Kelly and Tag. We're Kelly K and I, we're back. The hype video dropped. If you guys hadn't seen it on YouTube, or I put it on Twitter. I had an idea. I talked to Jerry. As you can see, we're close to Jerry. He told me what the games are going to be. So we kind of had an idea ahead of time. So we dropped it, and make sure you guys check out all our stuff, man. And you know where to find us. But shit, man, you're so good. But one day you're going to be leaving this show, and you'll be off for the bigger and better things that you deserve, by the way.
Well, I just, it's we love doing this, man. I know you love doing it. I know I love doing it, man, and it's fun, man. So anytime I can do a Jerry impression and get people going and stuff, but I can't wait, man. I can't wait till we get to do the hype video, because we're coming there to open up AT&T Stadium. That's another Mike and Kelly K9 collab on a hype video, man. So we're gonna come up with some special stuff for the for Cowboys Nation, and you guys are gonna have something to look forward to. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be nice, and then afterwards, you're gonna get a reaction video, and
yeah,
I'm gonna have Mike right there by me. So we're either gonna be celebrating and talking it up, or that's all we're gonna do. I'm not gonna.
We might be in the seats. We might be in the stadium. We might even
still be in the stadium. That's right. You know what? Hell, we might be in Jerry Jones' suite by that time. Who knows, man?
Where Kelly, you don't know, but where we're going, we have access to all the suites. Now, if we walk in, we might get roughed up and thrown out. That's a chance we take. If we want to do it, but we have access, so we're gonna have some fun, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'm telling you that the opener, if you guys are going to the Jets game, with Dallas opening that up, man, there's nothing better than getting Aaron Rodgers, and we gotta slay the dragon. I know we got him earlier in Dak's career, but it's time to really put this to bed. He's hurt us too much, and I think that'll be the next step in us in that process of getting past all the dark clouds and moving on to the greener pastures and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But, the thing about the Jerry Jones, whenever we have a Cowboy guy, anyone or affiliated with a Cowboy, Jerry Jones always makes an appearance. And the guest, like Dave Campo, he didn't know it. We had, who else did we got with it? We got Brad Johnson with it. George Teague. We got George Teague with it. So we've got all these guys with it, and the natural reaction that you get is priceless. And
it is. That's my favorite thing, is to kind of watch their faces as it's going on, and then just kind of see it afterwards, and just it's pretty good shit.
Yeah. So definitely you should check those out, man. And the beauty that we love doing the interviews are timeless. Like these shows, you guys are hanging with us, man. We love it. Other people will catch it. Maybe they'll listen at their lunch, like Kelly said. And then like we used to call it, today's news was at the bottom of the bird cages the next day, collecting shit, where the interviews are timeless. You can go back. I did one, my very first one I did on my own was Larry Cole. I mean, he was a Cowboy that played in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. It's crazy. He had the most playoff games of any Cowboy up until, I think maybe someone broke it. I don't know if they did. But he was on the Doomsday Defense 1, and he played so damn long, he was on the Doomsday Defense 2. So he was just you can go back, and you hadn't seen it. You can go back and check that out, just like with any other video. But we've got a lot of guys. We love doing it. So it's great. And like the schedule release thing, man, we just love just sitting here chatting with you. And we'd love to get some of you guys, like Mark did. He had to come up here and enjoy it, join the show. I don't understand. But
and for anybody that's looked at the record, I don't know if I've missed them. I've been trying to pay as much attention to the chats as I can, but I'd like to also know what people are thinking of in terms of the record, man. What are you?
Yeah, hey, we got everyone in chat. Blow it out now, right? What's your prediction? Let's have some fun with that.
Predictions, and we can take some of these here predictions. I might take a couple of screen grabs and use this later on in the year to see how correct that we were, because my official prediction, man, I'm gonna, as far as it goes right now, we'll do this again before the season starts, because obviously you got to factor in preseason if there's any injuries that happen, additional signings, possibly things can change. But right now I'm saying 12-5. I'm saying 12-5. Now, Clarence said 13-5. Now, if we're gonna get an extra game in there, I'm gonna need to know where that's gonna come from. But
wait, Clarence Beeks, what do we get? Is that a playoff win?
is that a playoff win, or you see how we're saying we win a playoff game? 13-4 from Alex. I'm standing 12 and.
No, he fixed it. He's 12-5. 12
Yeah. Hey, it's all right, man. I trust me, man. My here we go. We got 12-5 here. Couple 12-5s, a lot of 12-5s. So it kind of seems like 12-13. Ultra was in here. He had us at 6-11. I think that I don't even think Ultra believes that. I really don't.
He loves.
I don't think he believes it.
There's certain fans that just want to be negative, and that's just the easiest.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you never get your hopes up, you can never get let down.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're sitting there saying all I'm going to be is we're going to be 6-10, it's all it's going to be, if then that's, when you win 12 games and if you make an NFC championship appearance, next thing you know, boom, you're like, oh, I'm surprised. So I know those kind of guys. I've kind of been that kind of guy before where you're looking at the glass and you're like, that glass half full or half empty. And you're like, I don't give a shit. It's not what I want to drink, period. So, I know those kind of guys. Block Ultra. No, we're not going to block Ultra.
There's only one person that's been blocked on here, and he's attacked me on other social media, but
and that guy right there. Now that's the thing. Like, we love to interact with everybody, and we don't mind if people are going to come in here and talk a little bit of shit, talk a little bit of smack, because we can give it we can take it. Yeah, we can take it just as much as we can give it. But if the only thing that you're coming in here saying is Cowgirls, when's the last time you've won? You haven't won in 20, and you're just using the same old recycled Stephen A. Smith, Colin Cowherd lines, then, I'm sorry, but you're going to get fucking tossed. So bring something intelligent to the conversation to debate, and we will debate you. But if not, toodaloo, but and why I'm not really sure. We welcome fans from all different fan bases, but I'm not really sure if you're an Eagles fan, why the fuck you'd want to watch me.
That's what I don't understand. I don't understand that. Now, the one thing I'll say is I've been waiting because you didn't ask me my prediction. And I've been watching all these 12s and 5s, and I'm like, oh man, this is where I'm gonna look like the negative one.
Okay. Well, no, you said in the range. You did say kind of a range, so I feel like you're on the lower end of this thing.
And I was waiting for someone to pick it, and Doug gave me the number, and that's what I'm thinking. And like I said, I don't think that's a bad thing. Yes. I think we're a better team. What worries me is the difficult schedule. And I just think that we've got a tough schedule, some of the road back-to-back games that we saw. And I just think that's where I think we're a better team. I think we're going to go to the Super Bowl in the NFC. I think we're the best team in the NFC. I just think when with football, it's like we've talked to a lot of guys, there's so much that goes into it. It's not just the most talented team wins. You've got all these things that you're dealing with road trips, and you're going out west twice, you're doing different things. So that plays a part in it. And I just think 11-6, 12-5 is kind of where I'm at. But that's what I'm thinking as well.
Now here's the deal for me, right? Here's what I would, obviously, I'm pretty sure every Cowboys fan in the chat and you alike would love to see this. Here's the thing is if they exceed even our expectations, right?
Yeah.
The team goes out and has a 14-3 type season, you know what I mean? And just, and just blows us out of the water like, damn, this is because I feel like that if this team could fix some of those consistency issues, and I feel like if we get that consistent week in and week out, Dak is an MVP caliber style quarterback, I think that you could get 14 wins out of this team. I could see that because I think that with this defense, if you get the Cowboys offense scoring 30 points a game, 28 points a game, then I think this defense is holding teams under 20, and I think we can win a lot of games. But the thing is, you got to see consistency on both sides of the ball. Not just the offense, because the defense too. Sometimes last year, remember the defense that Green Bay game, that defense just bent over and grabbed both of their ankles on that game. So as long as we don't see that, you get the consistency. I mean, the ceiling for this team is higher than many of us will give them credit for, and that's what I would love to see from the team. You know what I mean?
I'm with you. I think that's you said it perfectly, and that's what's really going to kind of come down to is consistency. And if we could see that, I think we have a championship defense and talent wise on offense. I mean, you saw what CD did. I mean, last season, if you can get him the ball in open space, and you think about all the things he did in open space, and what he did, after the catch. I mean,
Yeah.
he could take it to another level, and he didn't have any help. I
Yeah.
mean, Gallup was not 100%. Noah Brown was a number 2 receiver. Now you're getting Cooks. Now you got Gallup coming back off that injury 2 years removed, which I mean, you can just look at the history. That's kind of like the key point of it. And then if you get one of these other guys, you get Simi or Tolbert. Like I said, they just got to be the 4th receiver, and they're not even the 4th option. Your
Yeah.
other option is going to be tight end.
Yeah.
So if you get the rookie or Ferguson or Hendershot, there are weapons on this offense that they can be dangerous, and they should be able to compete and go toe to toe with anybody.
Absolutely. And my whole thing, man, is if we saw flashes of it last year. We saw flashes of Gallup and the receiver that he can be. I went back and I watched highlights of that New York Giants game where we pummeled them, and Gallup had a huge game. That game, he had a big game. I think it was the most receiving yards of any game that he had all year last year.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things, is that he flashed and showed that potential because a couple years ago, before Gallup's injury, man, he was a pretty dependable guy. He made some amazing toe touch grabs. I mean, that guy was money on the sidelines, man.
Yeah.
Dak could throw it to him, and I'd be like, nah, that's not a catch. And then the ref's coming over there, and it's a catch. And you're watching like, shit, how did he get both feet down? He was a toe tap magician. So, I mean, if we get that Michael Gallup back and he's the number 3 option, you know what I mean? We got Cooks, and Cooks doing what he does. I mean, I've said it before. He's played 8 seasons. He's had 6 seasons of over 1,000 yards. Last year was the first one that he's had without 1,000 yards, I think, in 4 years. And I mean, think about it. He's playing with Houston. Who's his quarterback?
Yeah.
Davis Mills, your local grocery sacker at the Piggly Wiggly in about 5 years. You know what I mean? He's nobody to fucking beat your chest over. So we've got potential, like you said. We've got potential with playmakers on this team that should excite Cowboys fans, and just the potential's there. You see it. You see it on paper. You've seen it on the field. You've seen it come to now. All we just need to do is just, you have it play out. You need a little bit of luck. And and let's roll this thing, man.
Well, I mean, luck plays a lot into it. I mean,
it does. It does.
That, things going your way, and if you look at Philly. Philly had a great season, phenomenal season. You got to give them credit. They had a lot of things that went their way, and sometimes you create your own luck. I mean, you got to create your own luck, and they had some things happen. But at the end of the day, as great as it was, you still come up short.
Yeah.
You got one Super Bowl. And that's the thing, not to jump on Philly, but it amazes me. And hey, we all, believe me, 27 years too damn long. It's infuriating to any Cowboys fan. But we've had teams that have been able to do it. So they've been able to compete. It just hasn't gotten done. But Philly, it took them 52 years to get one, and they hadn't got another one since. It's like, I mean, why is it the history can be, a selective history? It took you 52 years to get one. We're at 27 to get our 6th. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like I said, we all, forget, us in the 90s got a little spoiled. And anyone who was in the 70s got really spoiled because, like we talked about last night, 10 of the 13 years from the 70s into the 80s, the Cowboys were in an NFC championship game. I mean, that's how consistent it was. And then in the 90s, you had 4 straight years. There were, you had that year before that they were just almost there, lost to Detroit. The year after with the Carolina thing, the debacle, and you kind of see the team going south from there. We've had those runs, and the thing that you saw with all those teams is consistency. So we're going to keep saying it a million times, it's consistency. When you start to see the consistency from Dak and from this offense, and really, to Kelly's point, even on the defense, we've had some laps. And I think Mozzie's going to, there was a couple comments about stopping the run. I think Mozzie's going to, paid huge dividends for us. I know it wasn't sexy. I know it wasn't a glam pick. And if I was 18 years old, I would have been all pissed off and I would have been, throwing everything all over the place. What the hell are the Cowboys doing? Because I wanted the glam. I wanted the spotlight. I didn't want the dirty players. But this team needs some dirty players. We talked about we need some big nasty. We need some guys that are just country strong, like they say, and they're going to slap some people around. And that's what I think we got in Mozzie, and I think we're getting it on that defensive front. And I'm excited to see this.
Yeah,
defense.
one thing I'll say about him, man, and this is where I think, Cowboys fans, I think for the most part, Cowboys fans have been positive over the Mozzie Smith pick. But what I would say to them and caution them on is the ones that are sitting there going, well, we reached for him. He's not, he had his in Michigan, in that game against Georgia, he got bullied around. He doesn't handle double teams well. Well, I'll just tell you this. I remember hearing last year when we drafted fucking Tyler Smith about how much he held. Oh God, did you see his college tape? All he does is hold. He's going to lead the league in holding penalties. And what did Tyler Smith do? Come out and played like a damn. I mean, he in my opinion, he should have made the Pro Bowl. That guy came out and had a stellar season at left tackle, playing for a guy that's probably going to be a future Hall of Fame left tackle, came right in, didn't miss a beat. And I don't know, I don't have it in front of me right now, but I'd be willing to bet he didn't have more than half a dozen holding penalties. And that's probably being a little bit lenient on my side. I think it's even less than that. He came in and played unbelievable. Like not like a rookie. He came in and just dominated that position. And I feel like, Mozzie Smith has that same potential because not always what you see on the college tape. And in fact, more often not than it does, that's not what you see in the NFL because you talk about development, your developmental guys, you talk about your defensive coordinator. Are you put in the right position? And I'm just going to say this, man, the guy benched 22 reps at 325 pounds. Most guys at his position didn't even bench that many reps at 225, let alone 325. That's freak strength, man. You don't coach strength. You can't coach strength. I mean, that's just something that you're born with, that brute strength, and you build it in development. And Mozzie is a dog, man, and I love it. I love it. I love the potential of this kid, and I think he's got a very high ceiling. So for the Cowboys fans that are not optimistic on Mozzie, I'm going to say sit down, get on your couch, crack you a beer, and watch this kid go to work week 1 versus those New York Giants on Sunday Night Football because I think he's going to be good.
His strength, and I dare say I'd never compare, but it rivals Larry Allen.
It does, man. It does.
Strength that he has. I saw him doing. What is that thing where they're pushing this? They didn't have enough plates on the damn in the whole gym. It was like 625 pounds or whatever. There it goes. All right, at least I'm not the only one. I know you've probably said it a few times, Kelly. You're high on Larry Allen as well, and just you know a lot about him. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable that to have that kind of strength. And that's got to count for something. We'll see what happens, but damn it, it's got to mean he's pretty tough to push around in this defensive line. And I hope, like I said, we can't have Neville Gallimore get cut because the intro of the show depends on it. We'll have to find another Cowboy to do an intro. but there's going to be a defensive lineman that's on the bubble.
Maybe we can grab. Hey, if that happens, maybe we can go out and see if anybody can get a hold of Mozzie and we can get Mozzie on here.
Because I still say Neville Gallimore's intro is about as good as it is. I've got, and I'll tell you the difference. So Ben DiNucci, right? So see if you can hear this. This was his intro. This was our other option.
This is Ben DiNucci from the Dallas Cowboys, and you're listening to my favorite Cowboys podcast, Tag Nation. Can you dig it?
That's just not the same. And I like him.
I like DiNucci too, man.
Gallimore did the whole, now can you dig it? He did everything perfectly. So
yes. No, I definitely say that you made the correct choice there when you picked Gallimore to be the intro. The whole "can you dig it?" Like there was no inflection. Where's the inflection? Now can you dig it? Like you gotta put some passion into that shit, man. It's Mike Tag you talking about.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's funny, but yeah, he did pretty good, right, in XFL, I guess.
He didn't do too bad. He had a decent season, man. And is it DiNucci's brand that makes the upside down Dallas hats?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Because I'm always seeing him on Twitter retweeting that and stuff, and I wondered about that. And
Well, and I got a bone to pick because they reached out to me and they said, "Hey, send you some hats and for the show, for me to wear to a hype video or something." And I said, "Man, just give me a holler, man. Just let me know." I said, now I need like 3 hats. I need one for you. I need force Jimmy to be a Cowboys fan, but we have to get 3 hats.
See, you know what's funny, man, is that and I've had many people I'm very, very, very particular about my hats, the way that they fit on me, the way they look, because some of the hats have a taller front deal, make my head look like I'm extra long, make my head look, I look like Megamind when I'm wearing them damn things. This hat right here, though, I got this from the Walmart right across from Texas,
stadium.
From the stadium.
Yeah.
I will tell you right now, if you're a Cowboys fan and you've never been to a game, or if you're a Cowboys fan that goes to the game, but you've never been to that Walmart, that thing is like the mecca of Dallas Cowboys merchandise, man. I'm just going to tell you right now, they blow the pro shop away because they've got way more stuff to choose from.
Yeah.
They've got hats, shirts, collared shirts. They've got shorts. And the prices are better too. And it's just as good. I mean, the merchandise is just as good. It's got the Dallas Cowboys. It's officially licensed gear. You're just going over to Walmart and having to deal with the madhouse of Walmart. I seen a cowboy one time riding a goddamn horse in the fucking parking lot. But, got me some good merchandise. That's all I can say. So,
yeah, no, absolutely. And a shout out to man, Fred Jones, Cuts by Jones. You guys know him on Twitter, Facebook, all that. He does phenomenal work. I told you, I've got it in my cave. I'm looking at it. It's the first game my family we went to, and he took a picture, man, and it's priceless, and he does awesome work. So make sure you guys check him out. He said he's going to send us some hats so we can represent.
Well, you know what? I'm actually speaking of Fred there, me and him are actually going to drink a couple of cold beers here pretty soon. I'm heading down to San Antonio, and Mr. Jones there is a resident of San Antonio, so I've got his cell phone number. Me and him are going to link up for some I'm always seeing him cooking up some good barbecue. I told him, hey, look, I'll bring the beer, you cook the food, and we're going to talk Cowboys football and chop it up, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. I'll be down there in the 1st of June and get to chop it up with him and go hang out with him there down in San Antonio. So
yeah. And I tell you, I don't know what's going to happen with Fred. And we had this plan of the Miami game, and he said he was going to go. And when I go, I got family and friends down there, so we're going to be rolling. We're going to be rolling deep, and I was really looking forward to getting him, to do the tailgate. And I said, man, I see all that food you're making, so I'll get the grill and shit. You tell me what to buy. I just need you to cook it. So. With being Christmas Eve, I don't know, man. That probably put a wrench in that plan, but we'll see what happens. But I want to wait because I think we got Steven.
It looks like we got ourselves a guest and joining the show. There we go.
What's happening?
I had to wear my Prescott jersey. I had to wear the Prescott jersey, make the chat sick because I'm a Prescott fan myself. I had to call in and give you guys a face to the name.
No, I appreciate it. And you're from New York, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah. So my brother, I'm sending you out a shirt, and I got a little prize for you. My brother said yesterday it came back because he didn't put the address on. He goes, Mike, you never put an address on the envelope. I said, I sent you a text message, you meathead, with the address. So he sent it out today. So you're going to get it. You're going to get it next week, man. But I appreciate it.
All right, cool. Yeah, definitely, man. I love the show. And you were talking about all the prior shows. But honestly, you didn't name half of them. I mean, there's so many more interviews. There's so many more different shows. I can't believe that you guys haven't gone like viral. I was going to say ultra viral, but I didn't want
to. We're going to get there. This is a grassroots, But the thing is, I'll say, Steven, is I'll never change what I am, and Kelly is never going to change who he is. And I like talking to you and talking to the fan. That's what I want to do. I mean, that's really what I enjoy. And I got a full-time job. Kelly's got a full-time job. So I mean, we have our lives, but we spend our evenings doing this. And like I said, timing's good for me. Like my son's graduating high school so I've got a daughter.
Oh man, congratulations, man!
No, thank you. It goes by fast, but what I'm saying is, so now's the chance where I can get to do this kind of stuff. I just love doing it, man. like we've been on here, Kelly, we've been on here for 2 hours doing
Yeah.
this thing. We're rivaling Knicks. And Nick, we're giving Knicks a run for his money.
Yeah, we are.
Steven, I know you love the Cowboys. What are you thinking about the schedule? You saw the schedule. You
I got to
up?
be honest. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. At first, I was a little skeptical. I mean, look at that schedule, Mike. Back-to-back games like that at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But then I thought it through. Remember last year, we would have a hard team, a good team, and then a shitty team. And then a good team or a decent team, and then a real shit team. And the shit team would beat the shit out of us in the beginning of the game because we would stoop down to their level. And then we would just demolish them in the second half.
Yeah.
But I think this will just make us play pedal to the metal. I just, like Kelly was saying before, I think we're just going to be blowing these teams out of the water, one by one, honestly.
Well, I sure hope so.
Yeah.
I know so, man. I'm a fan like that. And it broke my heart when you took a step back and said 11-6. I mean, we've been 12-5 for 2 years, Mikey. I want 13-4.
I know. I look at that schedule and it just worries. And I said, I think we're a better team. And what we talked about before, I think what's going to hurt the NFC East, that number one seed is so important. And when you look at that number one seed, you look at San Francisco and you kind of look where they're at. They're in the middle of the pack, I think, with strength of schedule. That's a team that we got to keep an eye on. Detroit could surprise some people. You don't know what they're going to end up doing. Yeah. So I'm just worried about a team under the radar that's in a bad division that ends up – Minnesota could be that one – that ends up getting that number one seed. That's not the best team, but they had the easiest schedule, and you're going to have Philly, Dallas, and these other teams that are going to be battling out. But I think the thing that'll make Dallas better is we're going to be battle tested. We don't have the layups. I mean, there's not many layups. I mean, your divisional games, I'll never call those layups because it's a rivalry – within a division. And AFC East, 1-4. I mean, the worst team is the Patriots, and you got Belichick, so that's no gimme. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But believe me, man, when I get things going, man, we're all in. We're going. There ain't one game I think we're going to lose.
That's a fact. No. Listen, you were saying that you want the number one seed, and I do too. I mean, we all do. We all want to go undefeated, home field advantage, number one seed, straight through the playoffs to the big game. Everybody wants that. That's the American dream for this. Yeah. But I got to be honest with you, and you may hate me for it, but I don't think it's good for Dak. I don't think the break is good for Dak. Take it back to last year. After Thanksgiving, that 10-day break, we played Indy, and look at that. Indy held up with us until the fourth quarter. Let's keep it a
I bet that game. We beat the shit out of him because my buddy was a Colt fan.
No, we did. We did in the fourth quarter, but it took Dak some time to rattle up, and it was the defense that did it.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
I think
and then we had our bye week, and I forgot who we played after. I think it was Chicago. I forget who we played after our bye week.
I think it might have been Jackson because I went to the Chicago game. Then it was the Colts game. I think it might have been Jacksonville was after that where we blew the lead and ended up losing.
And look at that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you got to keep Dak hot. Yeah. That's how you keep him. That's how you keep him going. You play him the good teams back to back.
And I'm
you know what I'm saying? No breaks. All gas, no breaks.
And I feel like that with Dak, that what we've been echoing on in this terms of like the sentiment is that, you want to also, if you see the consistency, I think, if you start to see that consistency with him, I think that fixes everything because, and one of the things that bothered me about the Cowboys last year and for the past couple of years, frankly, to be honest, is that you watch them and it's like, you can tell whether they're going to win or lose within about the first 10 to 15 minutes of that game.
Because as soon as they run out of the tunnel.
Yeah, it's like how they come out. And they're either – and that's what I talk about with consistency because one week they're jacked up, amped up, ready to play. They come out, they're playing with their hair on fire. The next week, you've got guys standing on the sideline with a shell shock look on their face when they're down 2 touchdowns and you're sitting there like – what the shit happened to the team that played last week? Like that team, right? You know, one week I remember coming after the game, and after the game, my post game video, and I'm yelling like, "We're going to the Super Bowl!" Like, you know, I'm all pumped. And then
That's
the next
me.
week, and I'm sitting there thinking, "We're not going to win a fucking playoff game," you know, because it's a roller coaster.
It is.
You got to get rid of the
I
roller
dig it.
coaster, man. We got to make this a steady uphill ride, man. All uphill.
I'm on the same fucking track with you.
Yeah,
I'm on the same thing with you. We're all that way. I mean, we have to be.
Yeah.
You know, but about Dak, here, I'm going to back him now.
Yeah.
Dak broke his thumb right here. The thumb that connects your hand to your wrist, your thumb to your wrist on his throwing hand. You got to have a little empathy for that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the guy, I mean, I know we threw 15 picks, but I think a lot of that has to do with the play calling. You broke that down like 2 or 3 shows ago or something like that. The play calling had them all in the same box. You know what I'm saying? 3, 4 receivers within a 5-yard radius. You know what I mean? It was bound to be picked. But I think it was hard for him to come around.
Yeah.
You know, I really do. And I think this season, I would like to see him play a couple of snaps in preseason.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm a
Absolutely.
big proponent of. I think you need to play preseason. I don't understand why they don't. You know, they don't at least give him a series. Any of these offensive guys. I mean, I think you know you're going in that first week, and you know you've seen it both. You've seen it. You know the game against Tampa at Tampa. I was at that game where Dak looked like it was probably one of the best games I've ever seen him play.
Elite.
And then next year, none of them played, and they look like shit.
Yeah.
So it's like you've gotten a mixed reaction or mixed bag of both. But I think you need to get. I think you need to get in there. You need to get hit. You need to feel it a little bit.
Yeah, and you think about it, they don't allow it in practice anymore. You don't have the 2-a-day practices. You can only hit certain days. I mean, they basically got these guys in bubble wrap the entire offseason. And so if they don't see the action in preseason, they come into that first game and it's almost like being shell shocked. And now you're knocking rust off. Whereas the preseason was built so you go into the season without having rust. It's like, you know,
100%.
Yeah, so I feel like,
and with how tight Jerry Jones is, I don't know how he don't get on him about it. Like, hit him. You know what I'm saying? He should be telling Dono to hit him, blindsided. You know what I'm saying? Tune him up.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we do have one of the number 1 defenses in the league. You know, and we are climbing that mountain.
Yeah.
And I think this year we're going to be top 3, 100%. And if he could beat them in practice and get around them in practice, he'll be able to get around anybody.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. I think you're playing
He'll be surgical.
Yeah. So, well, cool, man. Steven, man, I appreciate you popping in, brother.
Yeah. Thanks again. Dak to the future, baby. Take care, fellas.
Hey, thanks for coming on, man. It's good to
see you, brother.
All right.
My man, it's my pleasure.
All right. Thank you.
See, that's right. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, and I've talked to Steven and I you know, I sent him a shirt and I you know, he's building up his Cowboys cape, so I hooked him up. But that's where you get a chance. I mean, you interact on Twitter, but you never get, unless I see at the stadium or we see at the stadium, we don't get to meet you. So I think I love this. This is what I love. I wish, you know, Kelly, someday this show, we're going to run a whole show, and that's what it's going to be. We're going to have 4 or 5 people on here bouncing in and out and just talking Cowboys football. It'll probably be after a loss. It'll probably be when you and I, maybe if we do a show after a loss and everyone's all pissed off, they're going to come on the show and tell us how the Cowboys suck. That'll probably be the one time when it happens.
Well, you know, that's, you know, if that's what it is, then we're just gonna have to put on our body armor and defend the Cowboys the best that we can do. Because I got my damn star on, you got your star on, we're ready to go to war. But you know, it's good. I look forward to that too. That's something, you know, for everybody here in the chat here that has stuck with us for the entire show here. There's something you guys need to know is that you know, there's going to be at least once. I want to do it at least once. And I think, Mike, we've already kind of talked about this, a post-game thing. Going to hop on. We're going to get some interaction. You're going to get to see that passion. You're going to get to see the live, raw emotion, whether it be a win, whether it be a loss, hopefully a win. But we're going to jump on here. Maybe we'll do 1 win and we'll do 1 loss. We'll kind of see where that goes. But, you know.
We'll see where it takes us.
Yeah, exactly.
Losses, for some reason, always easier than the wins to get reaction. But
it's
going to be interesting. So, I mean, for me, like Sunday night, opening night, I won't be there, so I'll be. That might be an interesting start. Obviously,
Yeah.
the Jets. We're going to be at week 2. You might see some live. You might see us just popping in here and showing up, doing some crazy stuff, and maybe give you the real live cap of the day in the life game day with Tag and K9 at AT&T, so you guys can feel like you're there, because it's gonna be fun, and like I said, it's been a great time. So we're definitely gonna get it going. But for me, I don't know. I might have a bathroom. I'm getting to that point. So I don't know if we wrap it up. We've been on for almost 2.5 hours. It's been a lot of fun.
It has.
Hopefully you guys hit that like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But this is kind of the stuff, man. I could do this every day if I could. But I can't. I got to pay my bills.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's this little thing called work, and the bills keep coming, and unfortunately, but hey, like you said, it's a grassroots thing, though. You know what I'm saying? We got this little thing going. We got some followers and subscribers. The show continues to grow, and who knows where this thing may take off.
Yeah.
Maybe one of these days, me and Mike are out here, and we're fueling up the Lear jet together, man, and heading on out to Dallas Cowboys with media credentials hanging around these necks.
That's right. We're gonna make it happen. So I don't know. I saw the schedule. I think we all feel good. I can't thank everyone for, especially the ones that hung. I mean, there's some people, Fred and Winston and Steven, and I don't want to miss anyone. Double Star. I mean, so many people hung with us for over 2.5 hours. That just shows Mark and Steve and everyone. If I say say your name 15 times, I can't thank you enough, man. For me, and I know Kelly feels the same. It's awesome. I hope you guys had a great time. We broke down the schedule, we did all that stuff, but we just came here and shoot the shit a little bit and had some fun talking Cowboys.
Yeah, and you know what? It was like, I mean, you guys practically, I mean, look at the runtime here. You practically sat around for the length of a Marvel movie, man. I mean, I feel like, I'm no Robert Downey. He's no Chris Pratt, but you guys came in and we made this shit work. So
we're going to have some fun. So, no, thanks again, man. I appreciate it. I only fly the best, man. I only fly the best because I tell you what, all these Eagle fans, I'm just telling you, all you guys talking all this shit. My favorite, I pay homage to Ric Flair every time. But I'm telling you guys this: when Kelly K9 and I are down at AT&T, we will spend more money on spilt liquor, partying with Cowboys Nation all day and all night than some of you Philadelphia Eagle fans made in a year. So you guys take that to the bank. We're going to get this thing started. This season's getting hyped. I'm about ready to get out of my seat in 2 seconds, but we're going to feel it. And can you dig it?
Woo! Love it, baby.
We're going to have some fun. But, hey, thanks, guys. Looking forward to it. I dropped a hype video. Make sure you guys check it out on YouTube. Check it out on Twitter, Instagram, whatever you follow us on. Make sure you're following Kelly. I mean, I don't know how many followers I have, but his ass better have the same or as more as me because he deserves it. So you guys keep doing it. Spread the word. We love you, man. I appreciate it. Kelly, you got anything to close with?
Cowboys Nation, it's been a pleasure as always. And until next time, same bad channel, same bad place. We'll see you then.
All right.